Resident Evil 4 is finally upon us. Can Capcom improve on perfection and turn what many consider to be a masterpiece into a modern work of art? Let's talk about it. Good morning, evening, or afternoon. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the XP Podcast, episode 43 for the third week of March 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Z. Joining me, as always, my co-host, the Birdman himself, Logan B. And ladies and gentlemen, you can see us. Crazy, wild technology. What's up, man?
What is up? Welcome to the first episode of actually having video. Yeah, you can actually see us. You can almost call it a face reveal episode.
I was gonna say, I hope people aren't disappointed. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
I hope
fairly
not.
ugly, so
If you are disappointed, I hope you still stick by and listen. But other than that,
if you are
yeah,
disappointed, go find the audio channel so you don't have to see us. So
yes, yeah, you can always just play the video and not look at us. But other than that, exciting week. Yeah, I would say pretty exciting week. I don't know, not really actually technically a lot happened this week, but we'll be getting into the rundown and see what we've been doing. But other than that, I had a pretty slow work week, so it's kind of hard to get through. I've also just been very excited for a specific thing. If you look if it's gonna pop up here, nope. There's my PC stuff back there, and soon Mike will be helping me build that. So very freaking excited for that. I can't wait. Um, but other than that, yeah, just pretty chill week. Nothing really special happened. What about you, Mike? How's your week?
well, other than play, I actually did a lot this week. Usually, Logan does a lot more than I do in like a week by week basis. I usually play like one or two games, and that's about it. I actually did quite a bit more this week, so I'm pretty proud of myself. But let me tell you about my Resident Evil 4 Collector's Edition escapades. All right, so Logan knows I bought the Collector's Edition, and then I changed my mind, mostly because I just didn't want to spend the money, right? And GameStop sucks ass.
Yeah.
So, they processed my payment a week before a release date. So I made up my mind last week recording, and I couldn't cancel it because it had already processed through. I didn't post it yet, but it processed through. So I was like, well, fuck, I'm just getting it, all right? Well, I'm not supposed to cuss within the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oops.
YouTube doesn't care about 20 views.
Well, hey,
anyways,
they are
so
changing that, so
that's
we may
good.
not have to worry about that
That's
anymore.
good. Also, I do put it down
Oh.
as not safe for kids, so we don't have to worry about that. But anyway, so let me set the scene. Thursday nights here, right? It's 9:30, 10 o'clock. Resident Evil 4 launches at 11. I'm like, I could be playing in an hour. Or I could wait till tomorrow and hope that my collection editions gets here, because GameStop sucks so bad. I had zero information on when it was supposed to get here or not, right?
Of course.
So it said my shipment was on the way, and then I looked. They didn't give me a tracking number. They didn't give me any information. They didn't even tell me who it was being sent through. So I had no way to look it up and see where it was. So I said, you know what? I just bought it online. I bought the digital deluxe edition so I could get it, and I started playing it that night. Well, it shows up 12 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday before I even started playing my actual collection, my actual edition I'd gotten. So I was like, well, damn it. So I had two options, right? I can return it to GameStop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I can test my luck on eBay. By the way.
Oh wait, if you want, I'll take it, Mike. Dude, Mike.
There it
Mike,
is.
Mike. I'll take it.
Huh?
I'll buy it from you.
So there it is. I'll put it in the back.
I didn't know you weren't gonna want it.
You want it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, here's the way that you can go and get it. You can go over to my eBay channel and bid for it, because right now it's up to $380. So I made the right decision.
Oh my god. Dang it.
So I have I posted it yesterday, and I guess I made the right decision. It looks kind of nice sitting right there. I think I'm gonna keep it right there. What do you think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, that'd be perfect.
Since we're talking about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
have
kind of
some.
sad you didn't hit me up about it. I would have totally taken off you. I thought you just didn't get it.
Oh no no
That's
no!
all.
I was gonna always get it. Well, by the way, would have given me full price?
Yeah,
Oh well, I'm sorry. My bad. now
yeah.
now I'm making money. My bad. I mean, I guess I can
It's
take.
fair.
I guess I can take the post
I
down a bit.
wasn't gonna cheat you out of it. I just didn't think I was gonna be able to get it because it sold out like instantly. So that's why when
Why
you
do you
did
think I'm?
get it, I was like,
Why do you
oh,
think I'm selling it?
yeah, that's fair. Hey, you make profit off it. That's more worth it.
That is what
So
I'm doing. So anyway, that's my escapade. It was it was fun. I've never sold anything on eBay before, and it was kind of exciting to see bids start rolling in like immediately. Now I'm expecting them to chill out because it's 7 days that the bid is open, so I'm expecting them to slow down a little bit here in the coming days. But all right, excuse me. Anything else interesting happening?
no, not really.
All right. Well, then, as always, ladies and gentlemen, we'll start with the question of the week. This week's question is a topical question because I couldn't think of anything else. So, what is next on the Resident Evil remake train? Does Capcom go back to the original and see that V1 brought back to modern standards? Maybe they move on to 5, a game that probably doesn't need a remake? Or do they move into some of the sub stories like everyone out there calling for a Code Veronica remake or a Resident Evil 0 remake, etc.? What do you think, Logan?
Well,
That's a lot of noise.
yeah, Amy's throwing some stuff away. You're good. You're good. Um, that's a hard one. I see. The thing is, here's what I was thinking before we started. Um, as you can tell, the way they've been doing all these remakes, well, they are remakes. I don't know why I did quote unquote. They are
I was
remakes.
gonna say, yeah, they're like,
I don't
The
know why I
Last of
said that.
Us is a
Okay,
remake.
okay.
This is a
That's a
remake.
remake. Yeah. Okay. So, um, I don't think they are going to go to these sideways. I think they are going to go straight to 5 because every single one of them have been numbered Resident Evils, and none of them have been side games. If they wanted to go to side games, they should have done that after Resident Evil 2. You know, because didn't or I guess yeah,
No,
when did Veronica and
the side games really didn't come out until after Resident Evil 3. Code Veronica was the first side game, and that came
okay, well
out
then
after
okay,
Resident
but
Evil 3.
so then why didn't they just make the remakes of those in between 4?
Because you got to
That would have
think,
made more
if
sense.
they're making these remakes, everyone's waiting for 4. So if they go
Yeah.
3 and then announce Code Veronica, everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck? Where's 4?" I would
Yeah,
be,
I don't know.
because I've been waiting for 4.
Or another idea, they continue down this road of remaking all the numbered titles. Probably skip 6 because I really don't think they need to remake 6.
I mean,
5 could be really cool if they do what they did with Resident Evil 4 where they make it more horror based. I think Resident Evil 5 would be pretty damn awesome with a remake.
dude,
I love Resident Evil 5. That's the first Resident Evil game I've ever beat, and I didn't just beat it once. I beat it like 30 times. So
of course you like 5.
I
Of
do. I
course you
did like.
like
Well,
5.
I like 5 because it had co-op, dude, and co-op was actually really fun with people. It was a good time. I
Uh,
know it's
of
not the
course
core.
you
It's
like
not
5.
super horror and everything, but hey,
Hey, I like 5 too, so don't feel bad.
it's cool. It's a good game,
Here's
but
here's the
it would
thing
be cool
with
if they added more stuff to that story, made it more interesting, and also to learn more about Chris and all that. So
I mean, in 5 is where
they could
you
take out the
learn.
boulder punch too. So
In 5 is where you learn about how the virus was created with that plant and those flowers. I forgot what it's called.
hmm
The sun of something. I forgot what the plant's called. But that's how you learn about how they originally created the progenitor virus, which turned into the T virus. But man, I don't know where to go with this. I love Resident Evil. So of course I just want them to keep remaking the games I've already loved and played. But here's the question. So we got these guys. Hair in my mouth. Yeah. What
yeah.
the hell? Well, it's a bad part about being on camera. They can
Yum.
see that.
Yeah, I know, right?
uh, they have these 2 guys that have directed all the remakes, 2, 3, and 4, right? And then they have the main team who's made Resident Evil 7 and 8. Oh, sorry, Village. What if these guys just made a new Resident Evil? Like a brand new one.
I mean, Technically, they already did. They're the same. They use the same engine,
Use
or
the
is it
same
not the
engine.
same people that?
No, there's two different teams. There's the remake team,
Oh,
head head up by these two different directors, so they have co directing duties, and they've proven themselves that they know Resident Evil. I mean, this is a series near and dear to my heart. They know what people want. People I think sleep on how difficult it is to remake a game entirely with all these new mechanics and the new way the games play, but to keep the same spirit. Like we'll talk about it in the rundown, obviously. Sorry, in pots. But Resident Evil 4's crying achievement is I think it's so different but somehow manages to stay the same, the same corniness and the same cheesiness and all that. But everything inside the game is just massively overhauled, and that is a talent beyond talents to be able to take something that was old and redo it in a modern landscape, but still make it feel the same. And I don't know how they pulled it off, but they did so far, at least. I've only played for one day, but so it's a talent that I think is rare in games because look, I love Blue Point. Shadow and the Colossus and Demon Souls were straight up 1-to-1 remakes. They didn't have to change the ideology of the game. Like they're beautiful remakes, but they're not this kind of remake. They're not this kind of talent of remake, in my
yeah, they're not
opinion.
like really changing anything. They're mainly just giving it a very coat of paint.
Yeah. And
So
and most people think of Blue Point as one of the best remake studios out there. But I think these
I would have to
guys,
say Resident Evil. Yeah, I think
yeah,
they easily take the cake on that.
well, I
Yeah.
said one of, but I know like I said, these guys I think massively beat them out. So I don't know, but if they do stay on the remake train, I as a fan want Code Veronica because it's the way that we get to see Claire Redfield again, who was one of the protagonists from Resident Evil 2. If you played the game, along with Leon, so it makes sense to go from Leon, his next iteration after Resident Evil 2, straight into Claire, her next appearance after Resident Evil 2, and then maybe move on to 5. Um, and I think Code Veronica is a game that much more needs a remake because it's still old school Resident Evil than RE5 was.
I would also like to see them go back and remake the actual first game
Yeah,
and
yeah,
use it and do like the Resident Evil 2 treatment where it actually is like third person and all that because that's awesome and it would make me want to go play the first game. I just don't want to go back to that like isometric top down,
yeah. Tank controls.
tank controls like that's great for the classic fans, but for new fans, I think they would much prefer if they went to the Resident Evil 2 route. So I think that'd be really cool. But I do still very fully believe it's just going to be Resident Evil 5. I don't think they're going to do these side games because it would be super weird to go from Resident Evil 2 to 3 to 4 and then Veronica or or what is it, RE0
RE0, yeah.
etc. Yeah, and that would just be very weird. It'd be an awkward middle ground. I think if I was them, I would just go to 5, get it out of the way, and then they can go and do all the side games afterwards, which I think would be fine. Either way, we would get all the remakes that we want. I think it's an awkward middle ground to hit from RE4 to all these random other ones. Like, not random, but they are side games. They're not in the main line. I feel like they're going down the main line first,
Yeah.
and then they're going to go and do the other ones.
I would
So,
I would be okay if we're going off the basis that you're just going to continue doing the remakes. I would be fine with either Code Veronica or um my brain just froze
yeah,
or
I was looking
RE5
at you.
or Resident Evil 5. My brain completely froze up.
Yeah.
I lagged there for a second. But yeah, I don't know cuz Code Veronica is a cool story. I mean, I think Resident Evil 0 is a
Isn't
cool
that the one
story
on the
too.
train,
No,
right?
that's RE0.
RE0, yeah. I watched my dad play that on the GameCube. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So, all right, I don't care where they go actually, as long as they just keep pumping these out. And I think I think something that's lost in this whole thing is how fast they're able to actually make these and how high quality they actually are. Because games take a long time. Man,
yeah,
RE2 came out 2019. RE3 came out 2020. And then obviously it took some time to make this one.
yeah.
So, but in even 3 years, shit, I'll play a RE remake every 2.5, 3 years. Absolutely. And then you interlace that with the new modern era of Resident Evil, which I don't love as much. I did really enjoy 7. I haven't jumped into Village yet. I don't know why, but
Hey, at least you can play Village now in third person.
yeah, but
Don't you think it's pretty cool?
it looks awkward third person, does it not? When you look
I
at
don't know.
it,
I haven't
oh,
looked at it, so I'm not
okay, it
sure.
doesn't look like real third person to me, but maybe it looks like Call of Duty's third person mode,
Yeah, that's fair. That's
which
fair.
I loved, but apparently it's no longer there. So,
No, it is. It's
oh, did
back.
they bring it
They
back?
brought it
Wow,
back.
that's
Yeah, I know.
crazy.
They took it
Of
away
course,
for
they bring
like
it
a
back
couple
the
months.
moment RE4 comes out, so I'm definitely
I
not playing
know.
it now.
Well, it's still. I wish they would bring it back in Battle Royale again because I didn't get to try it out in the Warzone mode. But it's not there anymore. I would like to see it in Warzone just to see how it is, but I didn't get to try it out. Oh, oh,
New
oh.
flavor of Zoa. We
Yeah.
got wild orange, and then I got a
Oh,
tropical one too. So and then
not sponsored by the way, but it's obviously.
Peyton got a new Starbucks cup, so
Oh,
I got my Mountain Dew me in there.
yeah.
All right. Anything else, man?
No, I don't think so. But
Honestly, I think
either
just
way they go, I'm excited either way because I've been really well. I didn't play 3, but I did play most of 2, and I know for sure I'm gonna beat 4. So, and I do really kind of like these, even though I didn't beat Resident Evil 2.
oh
Doesn't
yeah,
mean it's a bad game. I just I'm a bit of a scaredy cat,
for
so
every
it
for
is how it
everybody
is.
out there, and if you haven't listened to us before, and this is your first time listening to us, Logan got within 45 minutes of beating Resident Evil 2 and just quit. He got
Well, okay,
through all of Mr. X. He got through all of the police station. He got through all of the sewers, and he quit at the laboratory. The sewers are
well,
terrifying.
okay, but I'm also stuck at the laboratories right now. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm in the plant room,
Well, don't go back to it
and
now.
well, yeah, I know I won't. Trust me, I'm gonna be beating Resident Evil 4 before anything. So, but yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
The sun went under, and it changes the way my face
Yeah,
looks. Sun's really going under.
yeah. Holy crap!
it
It
got
just disappeared.
it got dark in here. All right, well,
Yeah.
that's what you get when you record live. So anyway, yeah, I don't care where they go. If they make a new Resident Evil game in this style, fine. If they don't, also fine. So all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this is the XP Podcast, our weekly video game and pop culture news podcast, where Logan and myself sit down with y'all and talk about all the news stories and happenings inside and out of the video game world. We post a new episode each and every week, so you can listen to it whenever you want. You can find us on most of the sun's going back out. The popular podcasting services, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. If you enjoy what we're doing here on the XP Podcast, please support us on our Patreon, where you get to be a part of our weekly discussions and give us your opinions on everything we talk about and everything we don't. You'll also be able to find all of our uploads there, along with any exclusive episodes we may post. Links for that, as always, are in the description down below, or you can simply go to patreon.com and search Experience Point, spelled capital X, capital PERIENCEPOINT. However, if you don't have any money to send our way, don't worry, we still love and appreciate you for listening to us and being a part of what is hopefully a growing community. You can also go over to our YouTube channel. We can get this show and all of our shows in video format, and now see our bright and shiny faces. If you do, please don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you can be aware of everything we post when we decide to post it. New episode reminders for you. Last week's episode is fully up. It's doing good. It's where we reacted to Capcom live, I think. Or was that 2 episodes ago?
I think that was 2 episodes ago.
I don't remember what we talked about last episode.
Yeah.
There was some stuff. So, what did we talk about last week?
No.
Quickly, pull it
I
up.
think we talked about Exo Primal, I believe.
No, that was this week.
Oh yeah, it was our last episode was Last of Us. So
Oh yeah, it was the Last of Us
yeah.
finale where we dove in and talked about the final episode and a little bit of the entire show as a whole. Stay on the lookout for our Last of Us review. Not the game, obviously, the TV show where we sit down with the other two friends here at the Experience Point and talk about their experiences. One of them from the perspective of a guy who's never seen or played the game, and the other one, Worthy, a dear friend of mine. He's done both, just like Logan and I. So keep on a lookout for that. With all that out of the way, though, let's get into this week's show. In Point of the Show, we give you our day one, pretty much, impressions of the much anticipated Resident Evil 4 remake. In around the point, Counter-Strike 2 gets announced seemingly out of nowhere. Are the streamers and gamers alike happy or not? We'll talk about that. The Lords of the Fallen gets an even dumber new name, and Ubisoft is now using AI to write their games. What could go wrong? Then in LTR, we dive into the reviews for Resident Evil 4 Remake and Tchia. But before we get to all that, it's time for what is and forever will be the rundown, where we catch up on all things pop culture that we've been doing, whether that be gaming, TV shows, movies, books, or comics. It doesn't matter to us because we like it all and love to talk about it. So, Mr. Birdman, outside of Resident Evil 4, what have you been doing?
Well, I'll start with something that we actually said we were going to play after our last episode, which is Exoprimal. And man, I gotta say, I am a little surprised because it wasn't what I was expecting, but that's not a bad thing. It was just a little bit more different, I think, for both me and you. What I was expecting was a PvE experience where straight up all it is just you with a bunch of other mechs. You just basically kill dinosaurs, like hordes and hordes of dinosaurs.
What we
But
got was
then
Overwatch.
yeah, and then what we got at the very end was basically Overwatch because it's really weird. Like you start off with this competition where you're trying to do these objectives faster than the other team, but then at the very end it switches to a PvP mode, which is just it really threw me off because I was like, oh, okay, like we're playing basically Overwatch at this point because all these characters there's support, there's tank, there's a more assault based person and it's actually kind of fun. Like our first game, we were very confused what the hell was happening.
Yeah, I
So we
didn't
got
know
our
what was
ass
going
whooped
on.
because again, we just got thrown into a PvP thing. Like, it was just very random, which I do want to give some feedback on that. If you're gonna do a PvP thing, make that a side mode, not put it in a PvE mode that switches into a PvP mode. I think it's very weird. I guess it is always PvP, but you're not like fighting other people in those first few rounds. So it's just really weird. It just throws you off because like that first game you play, it's gonna really throw you off because it just throws you in
There's a gross smell
to
in here. I don't know what it is.
what is it? Oh,
There's a gross smell in here. I don't know what it is.
ugh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. But yeah, no, it was like our first game. We were just really lost because it like threw an objective and we didn't know what the hell we were doing because the objective description popped up like very quickly and then we jumped in and we were like, are we supposed to be capturing these objectives? Wait, why are they killing us? Like we were just very confused and lost and we got obliterated. So second game, we were more prepared. We were ahead of the game. We actually took some time to do some practicing with each of the characters because also in that first game, I was just jumping between a bunch of different characters mid-game because I didn't think there was a practice mode. There is. Try the practice mode before you play the game. Trust me, you want to get used to the characters. So that second game, I found a character I really liked. Mike clearly found a character that he really enjoyed, which is this big samurai mech dude.
He's
And
cool.
I was this really cool like robot chick that could like move on roller skates, but then she can like both
Pretty much
like
Tracer.
shoot pistol. Basically Tracer.
Yeah, so basically Tracer.
She literally is basically Tracer, but she's like the opposite. Where Tracer in Overwatch, where you can put a marker down and go very far and then go back to where you started. Instead, you throw out this thing, and however far it goes, you can teleport to that. So it's kind of opposite, but very weird. But we had a lot of fun in that second game. We kicked ass.
Oh my god,
We
that
came out of
second game,
nowhere, and
it was
that
like
second game was
massive comeback. It was
yes.
that second game was a perfect representation of, I don't want to say this, of like what makes Overwatch, what makes it fun and exciting, and in this case, what makes this game possibly fun and exciting too. That was a perfect example of just that pure adrenaline rush where like you see the numbers, you're coming back, and then you start executing plans, and our teammates, while we couldn't talk to them, I mean, you can talk to them. We were just in a party
Yeah.
ourselves. You could if you wanted to, but we couldn't. We all understood what we were doing perfectly. One or two of us stay by the box, get that number, keep ticking up, and then everyone else just take out the other team. And everyone kind of coordinated without any sort of talking or anything like that. Obviously, Logan and I were coordinating, but yeah, no, that comeback,
Yeah, and then
beautiful.
even by our third game that we played, because I think we only played 3, and we really had it down. And yeah, I think we lost in our third game, or did we win?
We won.
I think we won. Oh yeah, we did win.
You remember
Yeah,
there was that weird ending where like we didn't know if we were gonna win, and then we had the hero guy come in and just hit like once.
yes.
Yeah,
Oh, that was so hyped too,
yeah,
because literally we all died, and I was so upset because like all of us kept dying, and then this dude just jumps all above all the enemies, lands behind them, and then does the objective without him looking, and then we
yeah.
win, and it was so hype. And again, it's very random because this is not what I was expecting when I kept seeing these exoprimal trailers. Like I was already like, oh, this looks fun. You know, it's about you just in a mech suit and you're killing dinosaurs. Well, you still get to kill dinosaurs in this PvP mode. It's still like in there, like the dinosaurs and everything, which makes things a little bit more interesting because you got to not only got to worry about the enemies, but also the dinosaurs coming and attacking you. And also, it's really cool that you can get these dinosaur things where you can literally control them. It was actually really, really fun. Like, I don't know. I was having a good time. I I kind of will probably most likely be playing it when it comes out. Mike said he would too on his PC. So, and heck, I'll have a PC by then, so we could both play on PC. It'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, the only thing I'm a
Um,
little let down about is they've announced they're doing the Titanfall 1 thing where the story unfolds through the Dino survival mode as you
oh,
collect
it is.
as you collect like data and all these other things. That's how the story is unfolding, and that's a little bit of a letdown. I wish there was a
Yeah,
dedicated single player, that would like capture kind of that Dino Crisis s. But maybe I don't know. Maybe the RE remake team is gonna do a Dino Crisis game. That would be hype.
I do think also I don't know what the price tag is for this game, but I feel like they're gonna be
$70.
yeah, that's gonna be a hard pill to swallow
Yeah.
unless you have Game Pass. I don't think it's worth $70 because you have games that are just like it and they're free. And so they're competing basically against Overwatch with this game in a sense because it is very damn close to what Overwatch is. And there's also a lot of other shooter games with classes and working as a team. So you're really competing against a lot of people with this game. At first, I thought it was going to be its own thing with just you fighting dinosaurs, which it still does have that. The dinosaurs are still a part of it, but it doesn't really add a lot to compete against the rest. But I don't know. We'll see how it is when it comes out. But I do think they need to show some more modes. I was kind of disappointing that in the beta there was literally only one entire mode that you could play, and I think it was Warzone or something like
No,
that.
Dino
And
Survival. That's the main mode.
oh, that was okay.
Yeah.
So it's just like I feel like they need to put a little bit more into that. I wish they would have showed more, maybe even a part of the story in the beta, but they didn't. So also, their menu in the beta was really shit. It was like you have this like section on the top part of the screen here where you've seen all the menu stuff. And by the way, for people listening, it's on the top left of the screen. But then down here was just nothing. And you couldn't also like look at your mechs. You were unlocking stuff in the beta, which was really confusing because you couldn't even look at the stuff you were unlocking. And I thought that was really weird and strange. Um, yeah, it was just really weird, but I still had a lot of fun. I will probably be trying it out when it comes out, and heck, if it ends up being really, really fun, then me and Mike will probably be playing it every so often, and we'll let you know. But yeah, that's all I got to really say about Exoprimal. What about you? What have you been doing this week?
Well, I thought we were talking about Exo Primal.
Oh, dude, do you have something to say?
I don't have too much more to stack on top. I really enjoyed it. Well, okay, I enjoyed it. I didn't really enjoy it. You know me and multiplayer. I don't love multiplayer. But it did have those fun moments and those hype moments that some of the best multiplayer games have out there. I thought it played really well. I liked my class that I played with. I thought it was cool. I felt like the more I played with them, the better I got with them, which I guess you would hope so. You hope you didn't get worse the more you play with them.
Yeah, no, right.
But Um, and I think there's enough classes in there, especially at launch, to give it enough playability for people who want to try it out. And, you know, if you play like the class that I was, which is a tanky kind of melee based class, your next game you can play a different class and have essentially a totally different experience. Yes, you're still doing the same objectives or the same type of objectives, but like you play the game as your class a lot differently than I played the game as my class. Like
Mhm.
you were staying back, making sure I was good, and I was just standing in the middle of these dinosaurs, just swinging my
Yeah.
freaking sword. So it's got that differences of playability in a way. I didn't play any of the shooter ones because during the training I thought the shooting kind of felt crap. Like the aiming was way too finicky and all that. I guess I could have customized it if I want to, but I didn't want to. So, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm definitely gonna get it on Game Pass. It's not a game I would ever spend $70 on ever, even if there's a
And I
bunch
do
of
think that's going to hurt the game in the end, in
oh,
my
duh,
opinion. $70
absolutely.
price
I
tag,
mean,
yeah.
especially when it is essentially Overwatch combined with just a wave-based
It's like
PvE
World War
shooter.
Z meets
Yeah,
Overwatch,
yeah.
basically.
So they're gonna have to have a lot of differing modes to keep people engaged in playing, and if they don't, I think people are just going to get annoyed by the kind of like 5 things you have to go through to get to the Overwatch sections, which is what I think people really, really liked. So maybe they'll have strictly an Overwatch section and not force people to go through, what, probably like 10, 15 minutes, of gameplay to get to that Overwatch section. I really enjoyed it because I like that kind of co op style, and, there is that kind of race against the other team, which they say it has some play on the final showdown. We didn't see because we never won a single race and we won 2 out of
Yeah,
3
I know, right?
matches. So I don't know what the punishment is for losing the PvE sections, but like I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I think it's gonna be fun for us to sit down a couple nights to play it. But I don't see it lasting that long. I don't see it having very many legs just because I know gamers out there, they're very impatient. They're like, oh, I love this because it's Overwatch. And then they're going to have to sit through 10 minutes of shooting dinosaurs to get to that
And I
Overwatch section.
it also needs a lot of maps, and again, in the beta, all we got was 2 maps. One map was kinda mediocre looking, the other one I preferred, the one that was on the, like, in a city, and there was, like, all these cars and everything. It was very, like, beachy because there was, like, palm trees and everything.
Yeah.
I really like that one a lot more than I did the other, but oh, don't die now.
I'm good. I'm
Um,
good.
but, yeah, I mean, that's all I really gotta say about it, but, we'll probably, when it does release, as long as nothing gets in between it, we'll probably be talking about it and everything. And again, I'll have my PC by then, so we'll be both playing it on PC. So it'd be cool.
Yes, something comes out around it, and I don't remember what it was. Well, March 16th is not the right answer to that.
No.
July 13th. So that's after Final Fantasy 16. I probably still won't beat it, but all right. Uno momento before we move on. Let me do this quickly. Oh, there's literally nothing so far. Yeah, July 14th. The only other things that are slated for July are Pikmin, Hogwarts Legacy on Switch, which I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
I can't wait to see
and
that.
then a JRPG that none of us are going to play. So, Legend of Heroes Trials into
What do you mean,
Reverie.
dude? That's the most hyped game for me this year.
Okay, look, the Legend of Heroes is actually a really good series. I've played one of them,
Yeah.
but it's not like my JRPG series. So, woo, Final Fantasy. Oh, Final Fantasy 16 comes out on the 22nd, 14th. I can probably get through that. Probably not, but all right. What else have I been doing? That is the question I asked myself. All right, so what else have I been doing? I played Octopath Traveler for a little longer, about 3 more hours. I didn't play it a lot. I really only played it Monday. Um, Not because it's bad or anything like that. Just we had a lot of stuff happening. Well, I had a lot of stuff happening this week, so it's still Octopath. Like, I think the best thing I can say about this game is if you liked the first game, you're gonna like the second game. Then the biggest negative I have is if you didn't love the first game, especially from a narrative perspective, because there's not a lot of connectivity going on between the party members. You're not gonna like this game because for everything that they said was gonna be different, there was gonna be a lot more connectivity between your party members and all that. I haven't seen any of it, and from what people tell me out there, there is none. My webpage just moved without me touching my mouse. That was weird. There's a ghost in here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, my biggest problem with the first Octopath Traveler was the fact that there was no connective tissue between the characters and no narrative driving me forward. Like, there's no reason for these people coming together. At least that I could tell from the 20 or so hours. I know I didn't beat the first Octopath Traveler, but I mean, you combine being on the Switch, no trophies, no achievements of any way, and then not really a narrative reason to go forward other than just seeing how these people's stories play out, led me to not really having a reason to keep going. So that's the way I play. I like stories, I like being told stuff. Logan's leaving me forever. So that's the way I love to play. And I really don't want to talk about this next game until he gets back. So he always does this. He leaves at the worst possible time he could ever choose to leave. So at least now you guys get to see him leaving. Okay, he bought a big ass water bottle back. Currently waiting.
Yep.
Nothing. I was just waiting for you to get your headset back on so I can talk about the next game.
All right.
I told them you leave at the worst possible moments ever.
Literally every time.
Because I didn't want to talk about the next game until you could hear me, and then you left the moment I was moving on to it. So.
Ever since you brought up the Mountain Dew, I'm like, dude, I'm thirsty. I need something.
Sponsored by Starbucks.
Yeah.
Not actually. That'd be cool.
No. That was
honestly getting sponsored by anybody would be cool. All right, Tchia, a game that I know Logan probably wasn't excited about, but I was interested in mostly because, you know, PlayStation Plus game day one. We've only gotten the last one we got that was Stray, and I love Stray. And this felt kind of like that same thing, like a very small indie developer making their first game. I'm pretty sure Stray was their first game, but this one was definitely their first game. And the whole idea behind Tchia, I thought was really cool. It's culturally impactful in a way, you know, made the whole story and setting is, what are you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was checking camera response.
Like
Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me.
So the whole idea is this set of islands off the coast of Australia called New Caledonia. That's what this game's setting is in this game's place, and it really focuses on the cultural aspects around that civilization. It's not a civilization, it's just around that area of the world. All the voice acting is done straight from the people who live there. All the developers, they no longer live there, but they are from New Caledonia. All the music was sourced from the people that live there. So all that is really cool. But what matters is, how does the game play? And I'd say it's a solid 7 out of 10 how the game plays. I think it's enjoyable. It's fun. It is a open world collectathon. That's what it is.
That's kind of how it looks.
Yeah, you have a bunch of things that you're going around and collecting. There is a story and narrative, which is actually, by the way, very dark. Like, super dark in comparison to, like, the way the visuals look and things like that. But yeah, I mean, it's, for me, I've been jumping on an hour or so every now and then and just kind of walking around, exploring. It's very Legend of Zelda inspired in a way, with the way that the interactivity in the world works. It's very physics driven. Like, you know, you can jump into these rocks and these creatures. There's this thing called the spirit jump where you can jump into anything. So the first hour, I'd say the game's very slow because you can't do any of that. But then once you unlock it and once you move along, you can jump into birds, fly to your destination. There's this cool move where you can jump into a rock, throw the rock, then jump back into the rock as it's flying through the air, and then boost out of the rock and then kind of float down. It's a lot of fun, all right? But I'm not gonna sit here and blow smoke up anyone's ass. It's not revolutionary in anything. It's a cool, chill game. If you're looking for an open world kind of tick the boxes off collectathon, that has a really interesting story, and it has a good real world story behind it with the people who made it. If you want to go out there, if you want to support that, and if you're just looking for something to just kind of hang out and chill, it doesn't really appears to be maybe like a 10-hour game or so. Like I said, I'm 4 to 5 hours in. I'm like 40% through the story, so 8 to 10 hours away in a way, depending on how much you explore out there. I think the story is like only like 3 to 4 hours, but I've really only done very, very little of it because I'm just like going around picking up all types of different collectible items. So it's a chill game if you're looking for something like that. If if you're not into Resident Evil 4 or anything like. By the way, huge jump going between this game and Resident Evil 4.
Oh,
Massive
I
leap,
bet. I bet.
massive leap in terms of not just visual quality, but just aesthetics and the way everything looks and what you're doing and how you feel playing the game. And then before we move on, oh, actually talk about your movie first before I talk about my show because I've only seen 3 episodes
Okay,
of the show, so it's not really that great.
that's fair. Well, I went to go on Sunday. I believe it was after we got done recording. We're not after, but it was the next day or so. I went to go see Shazam, Fury of the Gods,
Did
full
it
title.
did it suck as much as everyone said it did?
I don't think it was bad. Do I think it's as good as the first movie? And if you don't like the first movie, then obviously you're not gonna like this movie. But is it as good as the first movie? Absolutely not. But I didn't dislike it as much as I probably did Ant-Man. I feel like Ant-Man I had a lot more problems with than I did with this movie, and I still well, not really enjoyed, but it was like, it was a decent average watch for Ant-Man. This was more of a good watch in my opinion. Like
Could
I
it be
would
that
go
you
see this movie again.
could it be that you care more about the MCU, so you expect more of it?
Well, that's true. And I will say, I mean, there's well, I don't know, I haven't seen Black Adam yet, which I need to.
Don't.
Um, I want to just because I still didn't even see the Venom movies. I haven't even seen any of those yet.
Don't on
Um,
those either.
yeah,
Okay,
but
the first one's fine. I fell asleep in the theater, but I watched it later.
yeah,
The second one's a fucking joke, man. The second one
no, I
is,
bet.
which is sad because it's directed by Andy Serkis.
Really, okay.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, sorry.
I think it's pretty good. I mean, it has a couple very cringy moments, especially not ruining anything or spoiling anything, but they make a Skittles joke, and I'm pretty sure they were heavily sponsored by Skittles because they bring up Skittles like 4 times in this movie. And there's this one scene where they use their tagline, and it is the most cringy thing I've seen in a movie. It was very cringy.
Is it like
Like,
the ending of Fan Four Stick?
um,
Is it that cringy?
no, not that cringy, dude.
Okay.
The entire Fan Four Stick movie was cringe, dude. I hate that movie.
The movie's not
Um,
good.
I never want to see that movie again. I've seen it once and I never want to see it again. But this movie I would see again. And the moment that this happens is she throws Skittles out to this. I'm not gonna ruin what it is, but it's like a horse creature. Not to specify or anything to ruin it for anyone out there.
So it's a
Um,
unicorn.
yeah, but she says, "Taste the rainbow," and it hurt my soul. It hurt my soul, dude. Just looking, I was like, I literally looked at Amy and I'm like, that wasn't funny.
My
That
thing
was
is,
just bad.
if you didn't want to spoil anything, what other mythological creature is horse-like?
Yeah, I know. Well, there's the centaur, right?
Not horse-like, only half horse. There's a hair
True,
in my
true.
mouth again.
Okay. Well, it's not ruining anything, anyways. That's not like a big plot thing.
Yeah, I
It's not
figured.
going to ruin the entire story.
The unicorn's the
But
biggest plot in the game
honestly,
movie.
my biggest problem was I wish we got to see more of the family doing stuff, and I feel like you don't really get a lot of that in this. Surprisingly, for how the first one ended, I don't feel like you get a lot of the fam. Like it is a lot about the family, and they make some very good jokes about the family, especially a Fast and Furious joke, and that shit cracked me up, dude. It was
That's
perfect.
awesome.
And that's the thing about this. I think this is a very good comedy movie. It is very funny. It hits a lot of really funny stuff in it all the time throughout the movie. It's great. But as a superhero movie, I don't think the villain is super exciting. I think I think this villain's probably just about on par with the first one, but I do think this villain has a very big identity crisis throughout the entire movie, which I think is a bit weird. Um, and
I
so,
was trying to remember who the villain in the first movie is.
uh,
The guy that Mark Strong played. I don't remember his name, but
yeah, but I think he was a little bit more interesting than this one was for sure. But I will say, oh yeah, I forgot that I had my phone connected to this. But what was I gonna say? There are
you're
also
talking
some
about the
plot
villain.
twists. Yeah, the villain. I was also saying the villain. They tried to do a plot twist, and I called it right as soon as I seen the person. I already knew that this person was going to be a villain. So it was like, that's not really a good plot twist. Like, oh, whoa, I didn't expect this person to betray me. Ooh, well, I seen that like a mile away. Um, but other than that, I mean, I think it's a good watch. It's definitely very comedy heavy. It's not a very serious movie. It doesn't, even when it finally does start to do something when it's very serious, it goes right back to comedy again. So if you don't like the first movie, you're probably not going to like this movie because it's kind of the exact same. And I still liked it. I enjoyed it. I would see it again, but I wouldn't say it's a great movie. I think it's a good movie. I thought it was very enjoyable. It's very funny. It definitely got me a good bit of times on making me laugh. I think only one joke, as I specified, really made me cringe super hard, and that was the taste the rainbow thing. But other than that, I think it's worth a watch. I think it's worth a watch. At least one watch.
Okay.
If you like Shazam 1, if you do not like Shazam 1, obviously you're not going to like this movie. Just saying.
Oh,
But I
cool.
do think
Cool.
if you do, you will like this one. So,
Well, I love Shazam. I think it's easily top echelon, top tier DC. Coming in probably right behind Wonder Woman and the Snyder cut of the Justice League.
yes.
Because the original Justice League is
Awful.
probably the worst.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's close between that and no, Batman v Superman is definitely better.
No, I think Wonder Woman 1984 is up there with one of the worst
I mean,
now.
yeah, all of them pretty much, other than like these
Yeah.
couple here and there. Like you have the
Yeah.
you have the shining stars, and then there's just a pile of shit below them. Like
Yes.
it's the worst thing ever. Like there's no Thor 1 in the DC. Like Thor 1
Yeah.
is fine. It's not good or anything like that, but it's definitely not bad or terrible. It's just a basic okay movie. And the DC doesn't have that. It either comes out in the movies Wonder Woman, or Shazam, or the Snyder Cut, or the first Suicide Squad. Oh, the second Suicide Squad, definitely up there.
Yeah, and that second Suicide Squad still blows me away to this day because I
So good.
remember I remember when I was down there with you, and you're like, "Yeah, let's go see the new Suicide Squad." I'm like, I don't really have very high expectations because the first movie was very, let's say, mediocre at best.
No, we don't
And
have to say
so
that. It was
yeah,
absolutely terrible.
yeah.
We don't say mediocre at
I,
best
I
anyway.
liked portions of the first one, but I wouldn't say overall it was anywhere close to good.
What
But
portion?
that
I'm trying to
second
think.
one, there's some cool moments in it
I
that I
disagree.
enjoyed, but the second
Harley
movie is
Quinn.
just like compared the second movie to is like way up there, like really freaking good. So, and honestly, it gets me excited for her if they're going to make a third one. I really enjoyed that a lot. But other than
All right.
that, that's all I got to really say about it. But yeah, if you like Shazam 1, you're gonna like this one. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, the only thing I've watched this week, Shadow and Bone season 2 came out, so I started watching that. But I don't know if you've ever seen Shadow and Bone or anything like that.
I have not.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's excuse me. It's a fantasy type series based off a book series by Leah Barbaro. I don't know how to say her name, but it's really good. I really enjoy it. I don't know if you'll love it, but you might like it if you're bored and then you see it on there. You might give it a shot. It's got decent character work. It's really cool. It's a solid 8 out of 10 all the way through. It doesn't really ever get bad. It doesn't get absolutely amazing. It has some really cool moments, but so far, first 3 episodes in, there's a lot of cool stuff being set up. It's a lot of intrigue, and it's going in a direction that I didn't foresee it coming. Obviously, I didn't read the books. Peyton read the books. She somehow doesn't watch the show. I don't know why. And then she got mad at me for watching the show in front of her. I was like, You've had over a year. It's not my fault. But yeah, so that's been good so far, or good to great, enjoyable, not amazing, not fantastic. So, all right, we spent enough time talking about games that, at the end of the day, don't matter that much because, ladies and gentlemen, this is Resident Evil Day. Well, technically, yesterday was from the time of recording, but this is where we get to talk about it. So, we're gonna go on now to POTS, also known as point of the show, which is all about our Resident Evil 4 Day 1 impressions. Let me get the timestamp punched in real quick. All right, there we go. We're good. So, weirdly, Logan and I are in the exact same point in time. I thought I'd be a little bit ahead, but I didn't play too much last evening, mostly during the day. But we're both at the exact same point. Chapter 5 end. Or Chapter 4 end,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep. The beginning of Chapter 5.
Yeah, I didn't even start Chapter 5. Chapter 4 ended, and I went to make food, and then I wanted to get some sleep so we could get up and do this. But so there it is. We played the exact same amount of time. About 5 hours, it says here for both of us. So, I don't know how you want to do this, because you have watched the first game, played through, like, an hour.
Not the entire thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Did you even get to the El Lago fight in the first game? In the original? Okay.
Dude, I didn't even get past the village section. So.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I was really young at the time. Okay, like I wasn't. So.
Okay. So yeah, our age difference is what, 6 years?
What is it?
Our age difference is 6 years, right?
I think so.
Yeah, you're 25, right?
Yeah, 25.
Yeah, I'm 31. So ugh. I hate that I have to say that. So let's see.
Yeah.
In 2005, when it came out, I was 13, 14. Well, it came out in October 2005, so I was turning 14. Yeah, so you would have been 8. So yeah, no, definitely, definitely not the same age bracket here. But you looking up Shadow and Bone?
Oh no, yeah, I did look it up though. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pretty interesting.
It is. It's good. It's fun. Like I said, it's not great, or I mean, it is great. It's not fantastic. It's not gonna blow you away. It's definitely not, from what I hear, Stranger Things level of fantasy storytelling.
Oh
and all
no.
that. But it is really enjoyable. It's a fun watch. There's only 8 episodes each season, so if you're bored as hell out there and you like fantasy as much as Logan and I do, give it a check out. All right. Anyway, sorry, got off topic. Resident Evil 4. So you come from it from a fairly new perspective. I come from it from not a new perspective at all. I have intricate knowledge of Resident Evil 4. So much so that I remember when I played it the first time for Peyton, she was like, "How do you know where everything is?" I was like, "I don't think you understand how many times I've played this game. I know where all the secrets are, where all the spinals are hidden, like in the hallways and on ceilings. I pretty much know where everything is. I know what gems to slot into all the collectibles. I know Resident Evil 4, all right? So far, 5 hours in, I can say personally, from my perspective, that they have nailed this on a level that I wasn't even anticipating when it first got announced. I was excited, and I could not wait to play through this game again with a fresh coat of paint. But so far, what they were able to do here, what they managed to pull off here, I think I just have to take my hats off to them. And I don't know what you have to say about your experience so far, not as coming from not a intricate knowledge of the game. So I really want to hear from you more than what probably people want to hear from me, because I was going to probably love this game unless it just completely sucked and, like, they ruined Resident Evil 4 for me. I was going to love this no matter what, but I can say they have done a remarkable job, like we talked about earlier, of making this game feel completely new, but still feel like Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, where do I begin?
There's so much, so just start talking, and I'll jump in when I need to.
Yeah. So after playing the demos, if you want to listen to the last episode, I had very mixed opinions on it, but that was mainly because of a very, just shitty controls on Xbox, which really sucks because I wanted to play it on Xbox, And it seems to be a widespread issue. Even day one, not fixed, still the same problem. If you have a PC, you hook up your Xbox controller, it's still as awful as playing it on the Xbox. It's something they did to where they just, I don't know, the way they programmed the control scheme on Xbox is just incorrect. Something with the dead zone and the right thumbstick, etc., etc. Listen to the last episode, you'll hear what I have to say about that. So I got it on PlayStation. I played 5 hours yesterday. I got to the exact same point somehow as Mike. I thought he was going to be way ahead of me because he sent me pictures of like stuff that I didn't get to till like 3 hours or so in. So I'm having a freaking great time.
I will
with this.
say I spent a stupid amount of time in that lake section.
That's fair.
I think
I did too. I've been exploring every bit of it, man.
I think if I remember my time, I reached the lake section in like 3.5 hours. So I spent like an hour and a half plus of playtime in there. By the way, there's a huge discrepancy between my playtime and the amount of time I've had the game pulled up. So it's a 2 different tracking. My playtime is like 5 hours and 3 minutes or something like that. The time I've totally played is like 7.5 hours. So I don't know what it's tracking there. I don't think I've had the game paused for an hour and a half. But the way that the game is tracking itself is different. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah, because I was even in the menu, it said it was still going. So
Yeah,
I don't know. So far, I mean, I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's definitely very difficult at times, but I've only died once so far.
Dude,
and
okay.
That was because of the lake monster, because of a very annoying thing where I kept hitting it, but something wasn't going off, and so I just kept hitting it over and over again, and at me I hit it, and still it seemed like it was going on for quite a bit of time, and then it jumped at me and killed me, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm dead. Okay, so the second time through, I beat it in like half the time. Like, what the hell did I do that I didn't do last time? What?
Were you making sure? Were you making sure that the harpoon was aimed right? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was hitting it like constantly, so I was very surprised. Because
when
so confused.
When it charges at you, you have to hit it in the mouth, like directly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know that, so fair. I don't know.
Yeah, I had no problem with it. It was just weird the first time.
I will say,
first time I was.
So far, the only part I've had trouble with, the only part I've died multiple. I died once during the village section because I was really dumb and I was experimenting. Okay, there's a really weird thing that happens that if you go into the building and you summon the chainsaw guy that way, I thought that would be it, but if you walk down the alleyway, then it resummons the chainsaw guy there. So that was a weird thing that I didn't realize it would respawn him there. You know that whole sequence that they have?
Yeah.
So it respawned him twice, and then I was like face to face with him, and it screwed me all up, and I forgot to heal. So, but other than that, the only plot I've died at multiple times was the freaking fish farm, dude. Which, by the way, totally new area. The fish farm, when you have...
Yeah, when you got to get the gas?
Yeah, wait, you have the brute come at you, and he didn't even challenge me. Well, okay, he did when he did his stupid over...
You're talking about after the village section, not the one where you get gasoline. You're talking about the one where when you leave the village, you go into the next one, and you get that pig guy breaks through the door. Is that what you're talking about?
No, so that's the point right after. There's another pig guy brute in the fish farm when you go and get the gas. At least it was for me. Unless you're playing on a different difficulty and they change up enemy encounters and all that.
No, I'm playing standard, so
yeah, me too.
I don't know. Maybe I'm mixed up. Maybe I'm not getting what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, right after you fall through the walkway. Oh, by the way, people out there listening, full spoilers for the first 5 hours of this game.
Yeah,
I guess, fair enough. The game's been out since 2005. Go fucking play it. My bad. But you know when you fall through the walkway, when you enter the fish farm?
Yes.
Yeah, that first enemy for me is always the pig-headed brute.
I don't remember.
Okay, fair enough. But anyway, I died in that.
It's like a system. I don't know, man. Like I don't know. What? I remember seeing the pig guy only 2 times. One was after the village when you're trying to find the wooden thing to unlock the door, and he breaks through the door, and it was very surprising for me. I was like, what? I was like, what the heck's happening? And then the other one, I can't remember when the other time I saw him.
It's in the fish farm.
Maybe it was the fish farm, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what the fish farm is. I'm trying to remember what it is because I know the only time I remember falling through. Man, now I need to go back and look. But okay, I
So
get what you're
anyway,
saying.
the fish farm is when
Yeah.
you walk in, you fall through, and there's a whole water around, which is actually a part in the original one, but it's, I mean, like every other area in this game, it's expanded and changed, and walkways are done in different ways, and it's essentially a brand new game just built on what Resident Evil 4 was. But that's the only part I weirdly had trouble with. I kept dying, and I was like getting frustrated. I'm like, why am I dying? I don't know. But anyway, I got through it. So that's the only part I've had trouble with. Other than that, it's all been, it's all been fun.
Yeah,
It is not easy. I just have such a knowledge of Resident Evil 4. Like, I know kind of when things are happening and when things aren't. But anyway, go on. Sorry, I interrupted you for like
no,
8
no, you're
years.
good. You're good. I still want to know where that is, but I've been having a good time with it. It's difficult at times for sure. Especially after I thought I was really stacked on ammo, and then I get to the area where there's a bunch of rope bridges and stuff. And it's like I've seen it before with my dad playing and on
Yeah,
other things. But
it's
it's like
right
this
after
big,
it's right
yeah,
after you meet the merchant for the first time.
yeah. Oh yes, yeah, you're right. And I was just berated with enemies. Like, fuck, I was just, and I kept for some reason
There was so many.
I forgot how to reflect at that moment, and that was like 2 hour mark or whatever in the game. I just couldn't remember how to reflect. Like I kept struggling because I thought I had to hit it right at the moment it happened, but you can actually hold it before it happens, and actually that's a good way to reflect instead of
Yeah,
having
you
to
just got to
deal with
pull
it.
out your knife.
But I didn't know that, and this dude fucking kept throwing the axe. I'm like, oh yeah, hit the button, and they just stabbed me. I'm like, dude, I'm hitting the button. Just freaking reflect it. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, it's because I had to hold it before, and I was like, oh, okay. So after that, I went through so much health. Like I had like 5 eggs, and I ate all those eggs within that fight. I was just eating. I'm like, come on, like I keep getting hit and everything. But it was really fun. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I think graphically it's very impressive. I think it's very now that I've kind of gotten used to the controls and the sensitivity, I'm getting a little bit better at it because it's a little weird because I'm used to other third person games where you want your sensitivity to be high. And so you want to be able to move and aim really quickly. This game, I feel like you want to lower it down just a bit. I thought you wanted it to be a little bit faster, but I've been messing with it a little bit. I know you don't care about that stuff, but I did.
Touch it.
I like to tweak it just a little bit just for me, and I tweaked it only just a little bit, and now it feels really, really good. I mean, heck, I even did the shooting range thing for the one guy, and I've really practiced a lot on my shooting doing that. And by the way, I got a little too addicted to the shooting range
Dude, the
thing
shooting
that you
range
wanted
is
to.
so
I was
good.
beyond addicted to it. Like I was just trying to, and I especially love that you get.
I spent an hour in the
you can
shooting range.
Yeah, dude, I did too. Literally, it was so much fun. Like I was just trying to get all gold and trying to hit all the skulls and everything. And I'm like, usually I'm not into this kind of stuff, but I was having a great time. It also helped me practice my aiming, especially with the sniper. I was really struggling with the sniper when I got it. I'm like, dude, how do you use this damn thing? It's so slow. It's so annoying. But after I played that shooting range, it really helped me. And now when I get in fights, I can use that sniper like no tomorrow because I practiced so much in that shooting range doing it.
The sniper is really, you don't want to like bust that out in the middle of like when they're coming right at you. You're not hitting them. So
no, I usually use it for like the people that are throwing Molotovs or TNT
exactly.
from really far, or the dudes with the fire crossbows when they're shooting at you. But yeah, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun. I do want to get to a negative. I'm sure Mike may know what this is. At chapter 5, certain thing pops up called rain. And they said, quote unquote, they fixed it. That rain looks fucking awful still. It still looks very white. It looks very fake. It looks awful. I don't know what they did to the rain, but this is probably easily the worst rain I've seen in modern gaming. The worst. Like, it looks like PS2 rain. It is very awful. And I know they supposedly took this from GameCube. So did they just take the GameCube assets of rain and shove it into this? Because it looks awful. It is the worst rain I've seen in gaming. It's bad. And it's so annoying because all the other part of the games I've played have looked very good. And then you get to this section and the rain looks awful. It looks awful. It's still as bad as it was before. Maybe a slight tweak to where visibility is a little bit more open. But I was walking around, I'm like, dude, this rain looks really bad. They have the opacity of the rain like maxed out. It looks so white. It looks very just awful. It just does not look good. And that's honestly the only negative I have so far. It's just the rain looks awful. And it sucks because it ruins the visual, the visuals of the game, in my opinion, because the rest of the game has looked very beautiful. I haven't had any other problems. I haven't had any glitches. I haven't had anything, nothing. It's all been perfect. Maybe the only glitch that could have happened is me finding the monster, but I don't even know if that was a glitch. That could have just been user error from me, and maybe I just wasn't hitting in the right area. But yeah, that rain, it's pretty damn bad. I don't know where people haven't even commented on it. It's bad. That rain looks awful still, and it's not fixed. It's not. But other than that, I mean, I'm having a great time. Feels really good. Been playing it. I mean, I constantly keep thinking about when I'm gonna go play it again. So I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. I've gotten a few jump scares in it where it really got me really good, especially when I started using my headphones. I got terrified in this one moment. Amy even ran out because fuck. I got so scared because I was in the house where I'm gonna call this guy the big guy because I don't know who he is yet. I'm sure we'll get the name of him.
The chief.
But he's basically the chief. Yeah. I'm in his house and I'm going upstairs. No. I went in this back room to do this to finish this puzzle, and I go out the room and I killed this guy before
the fucking guy in the bathroom walks out.
Yes, I killed him, and then all of a sudden I leave from this puzzle room and I hear, and I'm like, God, I'm like, I paused and I said, I need to calm down. Like, that got me really good. That was probably the only scare so far I've gotten in this game that actually really got me so good. Like, I had to pause and just sit back for a second. And Amy came in here wondering what the hell I'm screaming about. And I'm like, this scared the shit out of me. But other than that, I mean, dude, it's fun. Like, I'm having so much fun with it. I'm having fun exploring all these areas. I know, again, I don't have the what's the word?
The knowledge.
I can't think of it. Knowledge, and also
the history.
Looking back on things is the word. Like, I don't have Resident Evil 4 Classic, which I know Mike's gonna hate me, but I do think after I beat this, I am gonna get Resident Evil 4 Classic on the VR. I know I'm not playing it the normal way.
No, that's fine. You've played Resident Evil 4.
Yeah. So
no, that's fine.
I do really want to play it in VR, and obviously I don't have a PSVR 2, but I can't go back and play the RE4 Classic on my Oculus Quest 2, and I thought that would be kind of cool. Sorry, it's not Oculus Quest, it's Meta Quest 2. Sorry, didn't mean to get that wrong there. But
my mouse is dying. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm having a great time. Please fix the rain, please. Like, more. Like, that's still bad, but other than that, that's the only thing I can complain about. The only other thing is a bit of a nitpick. The voice acting at the very beginning is pretty bad from the two drivers. I don't know why. It seems very awkward. It just doesn't feel like I don't know. It just feels like disconnected in some way, like especially the dude that's like still the car through. You should probably go find that guy. And then it's just an awkward pause, and then it's just like, what? This dude's voice acting is awful. But I mean, again, you only see him from the very beginning, so it's really not that big of a problem. But like, again, it's a little bit of a nitpick they put in there. It's just those two people. I don't know why, but they picked some really bad voice actors for them. But other than that, I mean, everything else has been great. I love the cheesy lines from Leon. They're fantastic.
It's so good. And I'm glad they're still in there, because, like...
Yes, me too. I was hoping they would.
With remakes, sometimes they try to I don't want to say it. Over-seriousness. That's definitely not the word, but you know what I'm saying. Like, they try to make it... Last of Us feel like a modern game. Like, you have to have this dire situation and this, like, just hardcore seriousness. But nope. He's still throwing out the stupid lines out there, and I love it. I did want to respond to some of the things you said. I don't think the rain is that bad at all. Like, I think they change it incredibly. Maybe not the opaquency of it, but like at least the amount of raindrops that are on the
They
screen.
need to tweak the whiteness. Just
Yeah.
take that whiteness and go just a little bit to the left. Just bring it down because I think it's the whiteness of the rain that is so awkward and looking. It just doesn't fit. It feels like GTA Definitive Edition rain. It
Okay.
doesn't feel right.
Let's get something straight. I looked at screenshots. It's nowhere close to GTA Definitive Edition, in my
Okay, well,
opinion.
but I'm saying the closest thing to it's not that bad, but it does need a tweaking. It just needs that whiteness. The whiteness of the rain is just so bright. Like it just doesn't look right. I don't know if maybe it's like HDR is causing that, or if it's just their visual thing that they just made the rain look too white. They just need to bring it down a little bit. Just bring down the opacity just a bit because it doesn't look right still. It doesn't look as bad as that first trailer, but it still looks pretty bad in my opinion. It does not look good. And it also just kind of ruins the visuals for me.
We'll agree to disagree.
At that
like
point.
we agree to disagree like we always do. I think the rain is much improved. I don't have a problem with it. But there's a couple other things you said. I forgot what I was going to respond to.
The voice acting in the beginning was the only other criticism.
Oh, the voice acting sucks in the original game too. Those weird
Yeah.
dudes. Also, controversial opinion. Guy in the truck deserved to die. He's a fucking lazy guy. Doesn't do anything.
Oh, I know, right?
He's like, hey, Leon, go look at that.
Yeah, I know. Go find him.
So, but anyway, I so far think it is a masterful remake. Now, whether or not it beats out Resident Evil 4, in my opinion, whether if I replace it on my top 10 list of all time, because again, if those of you guys haven't listened to our very first episode, go check that out. It's definitely a lot worse than we've gotten. We've got a lot better at doing this. But if you want to hear our top 10 games of all time, go check that out. Resident Evil 4 is my second favorite game of all time, only topped by God of War 2018. Well, obviously, I feel like we're planning on doing a new list every couple years as things come out. We'll update if things change and all that. I've had a couple changes on mine.
I did too. I haven't read a bit,
but yeah, it's just amazing, and there's so much new here. There's so much different and change. What? There's so much difference and changes here, especially that whole lake sequence, dude. The lake sequence in the original game. You get on the boat.
It was a button thing. You had to hit buttons. It was a button masher.
Well, no,
right?
The fight's the same. You throw the harpoons and all that. Like the fight with can't remember his name. Oh, the lake's called Lago. I just call it the El Lago Monster. I don't remember what his name is, but you get on the boat. You drive out to the middle of the lake. You fight the guy, and then you kind of do the whole same pass out thing, and you wake up in the house, and then you continue on. That is the lake sequence in the original game. This one, you fall asleep in the boat, or you kind of pass out in the boat, and then you wake up in the boat, and then you can explore this entire lakeside area.
Well, a little bit after that. You technically go back to the boathouse, and then you go find another boat.
That is
then
true.
You can go explore.
Yeah. That is true. I forgot about that part, but
yeah, because I was confused too, because I remember seeing all the reviews. Oh, you could explore the lake, and I'm like, how? Did I do something wrong? But then I'm like, oh yeah, you gotta find another boat.
I mean, I think, dude, just everything has been tightened up. Even like the collectibles and how you slot in the different gems and all that. That's technically been pulled back in a way from what it was in the original. It was so limited in the original. Like there was only one gem that you could slot in. So, like, for example, when you got the elegant mask, I don't know if you bought that from the merchant or not.
No, not yet. No.
Okay, there was these 4 gem slots, but there were 4 individual gems. You could just put anything in there. And if you missed one of them in the original game, then you just shit out of luck and you can't sell it for its full thing. This one, there's only 6 different gem types, and you can mix and match them, and there's this whole multiplication thing or bonus type. And I think that just opens up the game in a way while being limited or less restrictive, I would say, not limited. The shooting, I did find it funny. So going into this, a lot of the complaints from Resident Evil 4 OGs was in the original, obviously, when you aim your gun, you can't move. And
Yeah.
that has a place and that has a feel. And I love that about the original game. I think it makes the combat ridiculously tactical. And like you have to be aware of positioning and all that. And a lot of people, such again, OG RE fans, were wondering what was their solution to make this combat feel as stressful and as tactical as it was in the original game. The solution to that was throw a shit ton more enemies at you.
And
Just
they're aggressive as all hell too.
bombard you with people in this game. And I was like, hold, because like, yeah, when we got to the hanging bridge section, I don't remember what it was, but we're gonna call it the hanging bridge section.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe
Um,
it.
yeah, there are at least twice as many enemies, if not more. And actually, the entire layout of that has changed, and the puzzle piece that you do, the actual puzzle that you do during that section is different. So there's just a lot of things that have changed and been modernized and reworked in a way throughout this entire playthrough so far. And I can't wait till we get to some of these later sections. I am dreading the regenerator section. Logan, you don't know anything yet until you've gotten to the regenerator section. It's the style of this game and how much more darker it is and how much more it is kind of like a horror game. Even though it's not still scary because you are well equipped. You have a lot of assets, I would say,
Yeah.
definitely has more compared to. It definitely feels like at the beginning of this game, once you buy a couple of weapons, you feel like the end of like RE2 or RE3 where you're like kitted out and you can just like you have stuff to be able to deal with everything. It's definitely not like OG Resident Evil where you're like, oh, I have 3 bullets. What do I do? It's definitely not that you have enough. But the return of the attaché case. They've even expanded that to where you can put these charms on here that give you different buffs and all that. Like I got this one charm from the machine where I get 100% resale value on healing items. So every time I go to like sell a snake or sorry, a viper or a big old fish, I put that on there. I get twice as much money on that. And then you can change those charms. You can change the cases to change your drop rates of certain things like handgun ammo and gunpowder. I have it on gunpowder because I can just make whatever ammo I need then. So there's a lot of different things. I will say the bolt thrower sucks. I hate it. I don't know
Yeah,
why
I
I
don't
bought
know
it.
why, dude. I've been using it. Sucks. Like I'm honestly, I think I'm gonna put it back in my
Oh, I did.
inventory and put something else. Because what I'm using right now is my main weapon is the skull crusher. I'm
See, I
using.
never equipped it. I equipped the handgun. I never equipped the skull crusher. Just
I
I don't
don't
know
think it's. I don't think it's any more OP than
the shotgun.
special. Yeah, but I like it because it takes up less space. And so if you upgrade it to a certain point, it technically takes up less space, and you still get a shotgun, and it does just about almost as much damage as the other one. So I do the skull crusher. I use the pistol 2 that comes with that edition that has an extended mag, so I don't run out of ammo as much. So basically, what I'm doing is pistol that. TMP, clearly. Everyone
TMP
just
is
says that's like
still,
I
dude.
maxed
It's
that out already,
so
dude. I
good.
maxed it out. I maxed it all the way out. It's on at least damage. Because I haven't really been upgrading anything else but damage because I don't really have a problem with reload speed. I haven't really been struggling with that. I also haven't any problem other than the Skull Crusher. I've upgraded the ammo capacity because you only get 2 rounds at the beginning. If you upgrade it more, you can get up to 3 or 4. But I mean, at that point, it still reloads very quickly. So I haven't really had any problems with that.
The bird just flew
That's
by my
what
window, scared the shit out of me.
really.
Yeah, there were a lot of birds in this. No, I upload a lot of them. My handgun is almost. I have one upgrade to fully max it. I upgrade capacity, reload speed because you might want to start. Because trust me, that matters when you get into some of the more hectic parts of this game.
Well, right now I
Now
have 20 bullets per mag, so I can upgrade
I have
from there.
25.
I'll get there. Ooh.
Flex on them.
Yeah.
But no. So far it's simply just fantastic. It's Resident Evil 4 cranked up to the 10th degree. And that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't realize they were actually going to change as much. I can't wait to play the rest of this game to see how much more they go in depth with some of these other areas, like the garden area in the castle area in general. Some of the boss fights that happen in this game are insane in the original game, and I can't wait to check out what they've done. And that's been my coolest thing, is just going through these areas and re-experiencing this, not just with a fresh coat of paint, but with like, new mechanics, new ways of exploring. And they play with you a little bit. Like, I don't know how much exploration you did in the village section after beating the opening section. There's this guy in the cabinet that scared the shit out of me.
Yes. Yep. Same here.
I wasn't,
Same here.
because like in the original game, you beat the village section and then you just walk around and collect everything. Well, I was doing that, and then this guy just jumps out of the cabinet, and I was like, "You're not supposed to be there."
Yeah, that confused the shit out of me. I was like, "What the heck?" I was like, "Everyone should be gone," but
So
came right at me.
they play with your expectations a lot, and
Especially the dog thing.
oh my god,
Yeah,
dude!
yeah,
When
yeah.
it popped back up, when you come out of that building, and I heard him whimper, I was like,
Yeah.
I honestly got up and like fist pumped. It was so cool. And then he comes back in and he rescues you from El Gigante, which, by the way,
Yeah, that was fun.
isn't called El Gigante. I was a little disappointed. It's just called the Giant, and I'm like, that's stupid. His name is El Gigante.
Oh,
But
God.
that boss fight was weirdly easy. I didn't struggle with that at all. Maybe because I know what to do.
Yeah,
But
no, I didn't. It was pretty easy because
Yeah.
like I basically mainly what I used was just, well, first I didn't understand how to damage him, so a lot of TMP ammo. Shouldn't have done that. But I kind of got to the pistol and I just got him down like every time. I just boom boom, knocked him down, wait up, step, and everything. And it was fun though. I was kind of scared though, because I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get destroyed. He hit me a couple times where he brought my health down really low, but I've been pretty stacked on health for a little bit now, so I'm pretty good on that.
I will say the game definitely knows that it throws more enemies at you because it gives you a lot more items.
I have like 7 grenades.
Oh, I use my grenades quite a bit, especially
Yeah.
my flash grenades. Like, I think it's cool that they give you the flash grenade recipe, because people who know Resident Evil 4, when those things pop out of the head, a flash grenade insta kill.
Really? Oh,
Don't know if you knew that or not, and that's the same here.
didn't. Now I'm going to. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, flash grenade. I have way more flash grenades than I do regular grenades, because that's an RE4 expert over here. I've played the game a lot, so yeah. When the Lost Plagueis like mutation comes out of their head, a flash grenade instantly knocks them out. And I believe in the El Gigante fight, a flash grenade does a shit ton of damage when the Lost Plagueis comes out of his back. I didn't have flash grenades at that point in time, and I didn't have any large resources to craft one. And I did mess up because I had one of the stupid kitchen knives equipped. So when I jumped on his back the first time, I only got one slashing because it broke immediately, and I was like, "Fuck, damn it!" So then I just equipped. I equipped the combat knife, and then it just took me 2 more times. But yeah, I want to move on. We've been talking only for 30 minutes, so but it's only 5 hours of gameplay. So
yeah,
if those of you out there that are worried, that are OG fans like me of Resident Evil 4, if you're worried that they were going to change too much, or they were going to pull Resident Evil 3 and take a bunch of stuff away, which I did like Resident Evil 3, but they definitely removed a lot from that game. This is not. They've done nothing but add and stack on top of what Resident Evil 4 was. And the fact that Resident Evil 4, to me, every time I replay it, is still like a 20 to 24 hour game for me. I take my time playing them and all that. I don't rush through them. I'm not a speedrunner. But this game is shaping up to be 30 plus hours. So there's a lot to do here. There's a lot. By the way, Logan, once you leave the village, you're a third of the way through the game. And you haven't even left the village. In the first game, I believe it usually takes me around 2.5 hours or so to 3 hours to get to Ashley. So we've added 2 hours to our playthrough already.
Damn.
Yeah, so there's a lot more in this game. Everything's expanded. Every single system, every single interactivity within the game is done. By the way, have you been doing all of the like side quest things? I've completed every single one.
Some of them I have. Some of them I walked past them a little bit too quickly, so I didn't end up getting them finished or anything. But there's a few I have stopped to finish and get done. I mean, mostly what you're getting from them is that currency where you can unlock those trading things, from what I can tell. Yeah. So, I mean, I've gotten most of the things I really wanted out of that trading system, so I haven't really been doing. I try to go back and do them, but I'm like, dude, I don't want to go through like 20 minutes of the map just to go and do some of them. So I know I tried it. I should be doing them when I'm there, but I sometimes forget, and I'm already way past it. I'm like, I'm not going back.
I've done every single one.
Yeah,
I
try to do most of them. So
I've unlocked every single box. I am trying to do 100% playthrough on my first time through. I'm unlocking everything, every single box I get to. Well, one, also I know the areas that we in the story you circle back around to, so I know spoiler for a fact, you go back to the main opening village section, and I know there's that one gap in the wall that I know I can push Ashley up through when I get there. So
Yeah,
I know
I
what
figured. Yeah.
areas you go back to and all that other stuff. So, all right, yes. Before we move on, I just want to tell everybody it's absolutely incredible so far. It's lived up to the hype and then some. I think this is if everything stays on track, the best remake ever made. I don't even really think it's comparable, because of what they were able to do with widening this game in terms of its breadth of interactivity and just what you do in the game and making it feel so modern but so the same to the original one. Like the fact that I know where things are while playing this completely redone game, I think it's crowning achievement. So anything else you got, man?
Nope, I don't got anything. Just I can't wait to play more of it, and soon enough, probably not next week, but the week after that, we'll probably hopefully have a review.
Yeah,
So
we'll sit down and we'll do our review. It's definitely coming from a place of it's at two different places. I don't know how much you've seen of the ending of this game and the last halves. I know you said you watched your dad play through a lot, but
I sort of know, but I honestly have forgotten a
well, that's
lot of
good.
it. So it's gonna be great. So it's
Yeah,
gonna be all fresh for me. A lot of this stuff is gonna be very fresh for me because I didn't really watch the entirety of the game. I watched parts of it. So
that's cool. I'm good. I'm glad. I'm good. I'm glad. Uh,
yeah.
we're gonna go on now to around the point where we here at the Experience Point go around the video game world and give you the news that you need to know about. Number one on Around the Point, coming seemingly out of nowhere, Counter-Strike 2 gets announced from Valve. It's reading from the IGN article here. It says Valve has suddenly confirmed Counter-Strike 2 and it's arriving sooner than you might think. An exact release date is yet to be announced, but it's been given a summer 2023 release date and will run on Source Engine 2.0. It will be a free upgrade to Counter-Strike Go. It's also available in limited testing to some CSGO players starting today as of time of posting, which was March 22nd, with Valve revealing more details on how to become part of the limited test. Per a Counter-Strike 2 website that popped up today, the largest technical leap forward in Counter-Strike's history, ensuring new features and updates for years to come. In several videos released today, Valve gave a closer glimpse at what Counter-Strike 2 players can expect, that being greater map diversity, game-changing smoke grenades, which I did look at the whole smoke grenades in the videos. I don't know if you watched the video and some of the streamers out there reacting to this. Um, I'm not a huge Counter-Strike Go guy, but I know this is one of the most influential first-person shooters of all time, and especially in terms of like
Yeah.
multiplayer play. So, from what I've gathered, I did a little bit of research. Not really research. I just watched people, but it seems like most of the community is super happy about this. And props to Valve. They put all this effort in, and if you own CS:GO, it's a free upgrade. So, honestly, if you want to, probably what I'll do is I'll just go buy CS:GO and just hop into this one when it comes out. But I know you're more tapped into multiplayer stuff than I am. I don't know if you ever checked out CS:GO or not. It's definitely a PC game. It's not a console game at all.
No, no.
No.
It came out to the 360 and it was god
It
awful.
came out on PS3
When it
too, and it
came
was
out.
also god awful.
Yeah, yeah, it's really bad. I did play a little bit of it at I think someone's house at one point, like a while ago. Um, I wasn't wildly into this kind of game, but I thought I would probably try it out when I do get my PC built because I've never had a computer that actually could probably play this game very well. I probably could play it on my Steam Deck if I want to. I haven't tried it out on. Um, but no, this is cool. I thought this was fake. I didn't think it was not the showcase from them, but a lot of news kept popping up about people saying, "Oh, there's going to be a Counter Strike 2," and I didn't believe it. And a lot of people didn't believe it because a lot of people just thought it was just, rumors. I mean, there's been a ton of rumors with Valve about a lot of games, like Half-Life
Half-Life 3.
3,
Yeah, I was like
Left 4
Half-Life
Dead
3.
3, anything with the 3 in it. Again, you sure as hell know there's not going to be Counter-Strike 3, I'll tell you that, because they hate 3. So I just didn't expect it. And so yeah, when I came upon it randomly on YouTube, where it literally had Valve official, and it was their trailer for it, I was like, that's kind of cool, and it's a good little upgrade. It upgrades it for modern PCs and everything, so it's going to probably cut down on a lot of the issues that people were having with the version that is right now, because modern day GPUs and etc. There's a lot of glitches and bugs and stuff that goes on with this game because it's so freaking old. It's an old game.
Yeah, they
I
run
don't
it
remember
too
when
well.
it came out. Yeah, so yeah, they run it like 600, 700 FPS. It's like it's nothing. Um, so yeah, this is cool. It looks like again a very minor upgrade. Some set they think it's not a big enough upgrade, but it's like it's a free upgrade, and it's just basically so it can run better on modern PCs. So like honestly, I don't see anything wrong with this. Honestly, it's just a cool little upgrade.
I
So
mean, from what I'm seeing here, it seems fairly substantial, especially with like
yeah,
what they're doing with the smoke grenades and like the integration of that. Like, I don't know which videos you watched, but there was this guy that when he threw the smoke grenade out, he shot his bullets through, and like it made a path for the bullets in the smoke, and which
that's
apparently,
pretty sick.
yeah, and like he shot at an automatic, and like you could see where each bullet went through it. I forgot I have a camera. I just went for the camera, but uh
Yeah.
it's I think it's substantial enough just from me looking at it. I've never even played them. But yeah, I hope the Counter-Strike community is happy out there. Um, maybe when Logan and I get up, well, I have a PC, but maybe when Logan gets his PC up and going, uh, we'll jump in, check it out. Probably die very quickly, but because I suck. But maybe we'll give you a more in-depth opinion on a newcomer's perspective. I don't think people come to us for our opinions on Counter-Strike, but who knows? But finally, overall, it's just I think it looks substantial enough to, especially like you said, it's free. Why do people bitch and complain so
Yeah.
much about everything? They bitch if a game's
Yeah, they're like, "Oh,
$70 because
I want it to be a brand new game." Like, dude, like, what are you talking about? They at least unlike Overwatch, they're literally telling you all they're doing is just porting over the maps over. They're giving you a graphical upgrade, and it's going to be basically the exact same as you liked before, but with some very honestly awesome graphical improvements to the game.
yeah,
And
and it's running on a
I don't see
new
why you can complain about that.
yeah, and it's running on a new updated version of the engine, which I mean,
Mhm.
Valve's Source engine is super good in terms of customability.
Customability.
I'm done.
You're getting there. Yeah.
Customizability. What it can do a lot. There we go.
Yes.
At least it's not as bad as Rockstar's Rage engine, which actually, if you, I don't know how much you've delved into this, but your computer probably isn't going to run GTA 5 very well because once you get over 160 or 180 frames a second, the engine can't handle it and it just starts stuttering like crazy. So you have to
Gee,
actually like choke your system to be able to run GTA good because your system's too powerful. So
that's crazy.
yeah, it's real bad. Like if I put mine on 1080p, it gets pretty close to 160 frames. So I'm right on the edge of performing the game too well. Now 1440p it runs at like 100, so I'm fine there. But all right, number 2 on around the point. Let me jump into this real quick. I forgot to write this down. All right. Number 2 on around the point, Resident Evil 4 remake is getting its Mercenaries mode a month or so after launch. Capcom's remake of Resident Evil 4 is finally out, and to celebrate the day, the company has released a special launch trailer teasing what to expect in the game. This launch trailer also features some. Okay, never mind. None of this matters. It ends with the reveal of Mercenaries mode coming on April 7th of next month. Wait, on the 7th of next month. April is the next month. So those of you out there that love Resident Evil 4, that liked the Mercenaries mode, the kind of pretty much the first integration or so of like a horde type thing in a timed mode. I mean, this came out around the same time that Gears of War actually came out before Gears of War. You know,
Yeah.
especially on the GameCube. The PlayStation version came out shortly before Gears of War original OG. Wait, no, that was a year. I always think Gears came out in 2005 when the Xbox launched, but it actually came out in 2006.
Yeah.
I always forget that. So anyway, this was Horde before Horde was a thing. And Mercenaries mode is so cool. I can't wait for you to jump in and try. You're probably gonna want to try this out. I
Well,
need
I
to.
played Mercenaries before, so
Oh,
I do know the gist of how it works. I played Resident Evil 5 had Mercenaries. Every
well,
Mercenary since.
well, everyone since 4. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So
I mean, I was gonna talk about how this should have been there at launch. That's what my original plan was, but I don't think it really matters. I mean, maybe a little
I
bit,
mean,
but
I mean, when is it coming out?
it,
Next month?
it comes out April 7th, so it's like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's like literally no
Yeah,
time. Like if it was like 6 months, it's like, come on, you could have put the mode in like within like probably a month.
yeah.
But this is only 2 weeks,
It's
so it's
like
not that big of a deal.
it's like Callisto Protocol coming out with New Game Plus 3 months after the game launched for an 8-hour
Yeah,
game. Yeah, okay,
I
that
know,
that
right?
one's bad. Yeah, but I was originally gonna talk a little bit of shit on them, but yeah, it literally comes out exactly 2 weeks after the game launches, so people are still gonna be in RE4 mode. So I don't think
And
there's. Go ahead.
aren't they supposed to also release like a semi side story DLC?
Well, there is a side story. There's Separate Ways, which deals with Ada Wong, who
Yeah, is that already in the game?
no, and I
Oh,
don't
okay.
I don't know if they plan on it or not. That is kind of a negative because Separate Ways is not
I think
important.
they will because they did with Resident Evil 2. They added a lot of side stuff throughout the year. So I think maybe they will add that. It'll just be something later, which would be cool. I hope they do. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, there's actually two separate modes. So there's Separate Ways and Assignment Ada, which Assignment Ada isn't that big. Separate Ways is like an entire DLC campaign. It's a couple hours where you play as Ada Wong, uh, and it weaves itself in and out of the RE4 timeline. Um, and I don't think they've announced anything yet. Hold on, let me look it up. Yeah, no, I don't think it's in there yet. I will say if they release this as like paid DLC, that's a pretty douchey move. I don't
Yeah,
see Capcom doing that because for everything, the past couple years, Capcom's been fairly good at just being a good company and a good gaming company and giving its players a lot of value for the money and time that they put in. So if it comes out and it is paid DLC, then obviously we'll have something to say about it. I still think it's worth it as long as it's like $5-10. If they come in and say this is $20 campaign or anything, I'm like, no, it's not worth that. It's only a couple hours, if that. Unless they just completely expand it and make it like a 10-hour campaign, that'd be crazy. But
that would be pretty cool.
so I guess we will see what that is when it comes out. But until that day, I don't have too much to say other than I can't wait for Mercenaries. I'm excited. We're gonna keep playing it. So one thing I forgot to say during our impressions, the trophy list for RE4 is fucking impossible.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've looked at it.
I have not.
Oh, dude. So there's like the original, like all the other Resident Evil remakes. To get the platinum trophy, you have to do a lot. You have to beat the game on hardcore, with an S rank, which is like beating the game in under 8 hours to get the S rank on hardcore. You can't die at all. There's another trophy for not talking to the merchant once. There's another trophy for beating the game using only knife and pistol. Uh, there's so much stuff you have to do, which I guess with the unlocks and once you unlock like unlimited ammo, you could technically do that because you can just keep shooting your pistol forever. So they make it easier in that, but you have to put a lot of time. I know a guy I just watched the other night. He platinumed RE2 after 95 hours.
Oh my god.
And RE2 is a 10-hour game. So it's a lot. Now, luckily, there's no A and B scenario like there were in RE2 Remake, so you just got to beat the game with Leon. There's no different scenarios like that. So, but yeah, not gonna get the platinum on this one, guys. So I'm not even going to attempt it. I don't feel like it. So, all right, number 3 on Around the Point. This one's a funny one. I just wanted to talk about it. The Lords of the Fallen, the sequel to Lords of the Fallen, gets renamed Lords of the Fallen. And what can only be described as the dumbest move of all time. The developer and publisher of the Lords of the Fallen, the sequel to Lords of the Fallen, have decided to rename the game Lords of the Fallen just in line with the original game. This comes as reported by PC Gamer. The name change was subtly baked into a technical showcase released on March 22nd, which was a part of the Future Games showcase, which we'll talk about here at the end just shortly. This means the sequel now shares the exact same name with the original game, despite only being released around a decade apart. A similar naming debacle happened in February with Layers of Fear, as a remaster collected of the series was originally called Layers of Fear before the second S was also dropped. So, the sequel to Lords of the Fallen is called Lords of the Fallen. What do you got, man?
Why? Just why? Why the exact same name? People are gonna be so confused. Hey mom, can you go buy me Lords of the Fallen? Sure thing, kid. Lords of the Fallen at home.
It's like they heard of us say how stupid it was that all they did was add a the to the name. They're like, well, fine,
Yeah.
fuck it, we'll just drop the.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not what we were talking about. That's not the solution.
I would much rather the than no the.
Like, why wouldn't you just say Lords of the Fallen 2?
That just makes no sense at all. God.
All right, and we're back. Sorry for that little hiccup.
Yeah.
Camera got a little wonky on us. So, all right, so we're talking about Lords of the Fallen, not the Lords of the Fallen, which doesn't exist anymore. So, you were saying how dumb it was. Continue on with your thought process.
Not much more to say about that other than why it just doesn't make any sense. Like people are gonna get really confused when they're looking for the new Lords. Well, now it was the Lords of the Fallen, which would have been a little bit easier to figure out the difference because there's a but now it's just Lords of the Fallen. But then there's a sequel, Lords of the Fallen. That why? Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, like the article said, it's the same thing as Layers of Fear and Layer of Fears.
It's
Layers
still dumb.
of Fears. Yeah,
that doesn't. You don't get the benefit of the doubt for making a bad name.
It's like pulling. It's like they pulled from the old Xbox additive, just make the most confusing naming scheme. Of all time.
Right?
Instead of just
Xbox
putting
360, Xbox One, Xbox Series.
Just put a number behind it. I don't understand. Know. No one has ever complained about like, oh man, I wish this was named something different than, 2. Or like God of War has a subtitle. I mean, I think the only thing is, the remake of God of War being called God of War, but that makes a lot more sense. No one's going to go into a GameStop and like, I want God of War, and they're going to hand them the PS2 version of fucking God of War. Yeah. Like, I don't think anyone's going to confuse that one, but all right. Now I got nothing else on Lords of the Fallen. Previously, the Lords of the Fallen.
Lords of the Fallen. I will say it did look pretty impressive, which kind of scares me. Other than that, yeah, that's all I gotta say about it.
Talking about scaring, like I don't know if I'm gonna get points on Exoprimal counterpick or not, because you counterpicked the Lords of the Fallen, now Lords of the Fallen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I still have very little hope for it. So, all right, what number are we on now? I always forget.
4.
Thank you. Number 4. Did the Venom actor for Spider-Man accidentally leak the release date for Spider-Man 2? This is reading from IGN's article. It says, Tony Todd, the voice actor behind Venom and Insomniac Marvel Spider-Man 2, revealed that the game will release sometime in September. It was previously only revealed that it would drop fall 2023. On Twitter, Todd posted a picture of himself working with motion capture. When someone exclaimed that they couldn't wait for more details about Spider-Man 2, Todd responded with, looks like September. Massive publicity coming in August. Commercials start dropping in August, so I'm told. Hold on to your butts, I guess, and hold your breath. Gonna be necessary. So, yeah, it looks like maybe we talked about last week the showdown between Starfield and Spider-Man. Looks like we might actually have a head-to-head in the same month.
That'd be some ballsy stuff, man, because either way, one is taking sales from one and one's taking sales from the other. But I guess you also have Game Pass. So no matter what, I guess technically no matter what, it's going to be fine.
I mean, I saw Spider-Man releasing in the same window that God of War did, the November window. But I guess September is the same time. No, I guess the original Spider-Man released in August. Maybe it was in September. The only thing I felt a little weird is he says, the publicity and all that will start up in August. I was like, they're gonna want to get that going before a month before the game releases.
I know,
I
right?
feel like if we don't see anything from Spider-Man until August, well, I'm still gonna play it. You're still gonna buy it and play it.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a mistake on Sony's part. Is look, I know they're playing things a lot closer to the chest than they used to. They're not really announcing anything, and they're really keeping their cards pulled in, which I think overall could be a good decision. It could backfire. Who knows? That hasn't happened yet. Uh, but I like it a little bit more than announcing a game 4 years before it ever sees the light of day. So, but other than that, I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about here other than it doesn't matter when the game comes out. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play the absolute piss out of this game, and I know you are too.
Yeah. I'm very excited for it, but yeah, it's gonna be. I hope they. I would assume they're gonna probably announce this probably sometime during the summer. That would be what I would think they would do. They would probably showcase some gameplay, a little small gameplay trailer, and maybe a little bit of a story-ish trailer with it, so that we get the gist of what the story is gonna be. I don't know. That makes sense. I don't know why they would do it in August, especially if it is gonna come out in September. But I don't know.
I mean, maybe Sony saw what happened with God of War, and they didn't really give us. They didn't give us a single gameplay. You zoomed into
You're
your
good.
face there.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Don't worry.
They didn't give us a single gameplay walkthrough of that. All we got was a trailer. You can keep pulled out. You don't have to match my
Nope.
face. Oh.
Nope. I'm gonna match your face.
Why?
I'll be with you.
All right. They didn't give us a single gameplay walkthrough of God of War. They just gave us some trailers, and that game is probably going to go on to be the best-selling first-party exclusive of all time. So maybe Sony saw that, be like, we don't need to go through all the effort, especially for sequels, to show this game off over and over and over again. We want people to go in fresh and not a lot to go on, which I appreciate as someone who, while I don't really ever want to see a lot from games that I'm very excited about, find it hard, especially doing this podcast, to not watch things and to not look at the things that each individual company comes out with. Like, you think, what if we hadn't seen Halo Infinite a year or so plus before it came out? What if we just saw it a couple months before it launched and then it came out? I think the reception would have been slightly better if it hadn't had that negative connotation of what people knew it was a year before it came out. It's something to think on,
You're, which I think is kind of something Xbox has taken in to, like
Good.
what they're gonna do now, because you could definitely tell now they don't want to. They seem to be really pushing off on showcasing their games until they're at least visible or there to play, like Redfall and stuff like that. Like Redfall's probably been in development for a good portion of time now, and they didn't showcase it till they actually had some gameplay. So I feel like that's kind of what they're doing. I mean, I guess they kind of did with Redfall trailer, but I do think they're doing a better job of actually showing us like more of a complete game by the time they do showcases for it. So like
Yeah, which I said.
Starfield will be getting probably more like we pretty much got a decent, good gameplay trailer. It didn't look as bad as Halo, where Halo was so early, and you could tell that was very early the
Yeah.
gameplay. So
Well, we also got news that in June we're gonna see more from Starfield, so we'll see a lot
yeah,
more. So, um, overall, I think it's well, us as the people who talk about these games as the news come out, there's not as much to talk about. But again, I would rather have that than us have known Spider-Man 2 gets announced 4 months after the first Spider-Man, and then we had to wait 5 years for it. It's very similar to what they did with The Last of Us, where part 2 got announced so early on and people knew it was coming. Now we're at a point in time where we are just kind of waiting for them to say things, which sucks for this, but I think overall it allows us to focus on a lot more other things and a lot different games instead of focusing the news cycle over and over again over the course of 4 years on one game. I think it's a better decision overall, especially for the players. All right.
yes,
Number 5 on the Around the Point. This one was actually kind of cool. I actually got excited when I saw this. A new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game has been announced. This one being adapted from the comic The Last Ronin, which came out in 2020. And the news we got Polygon broke the news. Sorry, that was a weird segue. Polygon broke the news in an interview with Doug Rousen, Senior Vice President for Games and Emerging Media at Paramount Global. That's a terrible title. While the developer involved is still being kept under wraps, Rosen indicated that the goal is to create a AAA action title game that draws heavily from the comic book source material. The Last Ronin is notable for being the first collaboration in many years between TMNT creators Kevin Eastman and Peter Lard, based on an unproduced story from the 80s. Last Ronin is a Dark Knight Returns-esque tale set in a bleak future version of the TMNT universe. In this world, all but one of the four turtles has been killed by the Foot Clan, leaving the lone survivor to seek revenge against the grandson of Shredder. And throughout this interview, he noted that the game is going to be taking inspiration mostly from modern action games like God of War and like some of its other contemporaries. So, what do you think about getting a TMNT game in the style of God of War remake? Obviously, not original.
That'd be pretty damn sick. Honestly,
Yeah.
it'd be even more exciting if they did it more like Ghost of Tsushima, especially since it's about Ronin and everything and probably being sneaky and all that. I do think it'll be cool no matter what. This in general sounds pretty dope, in my opinion. Like I'm actually, if this does actually come out to be a real thing, I would be down for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall this sounds really, really awesome. I don't know about the whole open world RPG. I think they're really trying to focus on a kind of a linear narrative type adventure thing. Well, like God of War is. I mean, God of War has open areas, but it's still linear. Like, it's still a single path through the game. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I've never read The Last Ronin. I am a comics guy, but I don't read that much anymore. There's too many damn games to play. I used to be a comics guy when we get like we got a game every like couple months and I could play it and then wait. Now we get a game every couple weeks and then we have to sit
I
down
know,
and play
right?
through it. It's good, I guess, but it is a little annoying that there's just so much that always comes out forever. All right. Well, if you have nothing left on God of War, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we can go on to more shit talking of Ubisoft, which I know you
Yeah,
always very
totally ready for
much
that.
you very much enjoy the shit talking of Ubisoft. So number 6 on Around the Point. Excuse me. Ubisoft has announced that it is now using a new AI script writing tool called Ghostwriter, saying that it will help game writers develop better dialogue for NPCs. According to a blog post published by Ubisoft on Tuesday, Ghostwriter, created by Ubisoft's R&D department, isn't replacing the video game writer. They say Ubisoft claims it's actually saving game writers time coming up with the best lines or barks to give NPCs. Some of the writers from Ubisoft have gone to say, rather than writing first draft versions, Ghostwriter lets scriptwriters select and polish the samples generated. Apparently, they say this is going to increase writing time, and so they don't have to worry so much on the aspects of the game that used to mean a whole lot for world building. But apparently, they don't mean too much to Ubisoft anymore because they'll just let a computer write it. Maybe I'm being a little hypercritical there, but that was my take on it. Well, yes, I do think this could increase, their productivity in a way. I don't want Ubisoft to create their productivity. I want Ubisoft to create one or two absolutely amazing games a year and fix themselves, and instead of letting a computer write their games because they can't.
I I don't know. Obviously, yeah, this is a bad look on them just in general because obviously they can't even make a good game with the writers that they have. Um, but also, I do think the rapid rise of AI in general with Chat GPT and also now with the Bing, whatever it's called. I don't remember what it's called, but it's in Bing. Um, I honestly don't see a problem with them using this to make things a little bit easier. I think this, no matter what, is going to make its way into gaming, whether we believe it or not. And I think more and more companies are going to use it to help with writing some dialogue. Obviously, I don't want any game to 100% focus on just AI, but what the hell was that? Um, but I think I don't really see a problem with it. Honestly, if it's gonna help with writing and that increases the amount of dialogue and etc. for a game, then sure, use it. But do I think Ubisoft posting this and everything is helping their case? No. Honestly, if I was them, I would just kept quiet about this. I would have just kept quiet.
Yeah, like I don't know
Um,
why you felt the need with the way your situation currently is. You felt the
mhm.
need to come out and say, "Oh, we're not writing all of our games anymore." Like, am I being overly hypercritical? Obviously, I am. It's Ubisoft. Like Logan said, this is probably a fine thing, especially if they just limit it to like the NPC dialogue. That's like, you just walk by or you have a passing conversation with. I do not want this to leak too heavily into like the main character's dialogue and the narrative. Am I boring you?
No, no, sorry.
No, I'm just
No, you're
kidding, man.
good.
We all yawn. I don't want this to become a thing like where God of War 3 is written by a computer. You know?
No, yeah, I don't either. I don't want full games unless the game in general is designed around the AI. I don't want an entire game to be, written with AI. I'd rather obviously human people write it, but also I do think AI could be useful in writing some dialogue, especially for like side quests and stuff.
Yeah.
It could help. And again, AI has come a long way, and also seeing what Chat GPT and also the Bing thing, which I still don't remember the name of it, those are very useful tools. And if you have them, why not use them? So I do think they could be of use, but again, I don't think Ubisoft should have said this because they already have enough bad things on their plate, and adding this just doesn't help at all. So
I mean, do you think this leads to a scenario where we already talk about how overbloated Ubisoft games are and how long they are? Well, now they don't have to do as much work to make them even more. I mean, do you think this
true,
leads to, the next Assassin's Creed being 120 hours because, well, they didn't have to write 20 hours worth of dialogue for the NPC characters and side quests and things like that?
they could.
That would suck.
Honestly, yeah, I wouldn't want that, but that is a possibility. Yeah.
I'll be very interested to know if they even let us know which games are using it and which games aren't. They'd be dumb to do that because then obviously we'd all just point it
Well,
out.
yeah, then we'd be looking for it.
Yeah.
So I would think they are just gonna make this blanket statement, and then they're just gonna not say what games are gonna have it. But I'm sure people now, since they said
I'm
this,
going to be
are
looking
gonna be
for it.
more on the looking for it, and they're
Yeah.
gonna probably be looking at side quests and being like, "Man, this doesn't seem like natural dialogue whatsoever." But I don't know, man. ChatGPT is pretty damn good, dude. Without even like there is literally a bunch of channels I watch where they straight up wrote books or these whole like stories with ChatGPT, and they posted it to like these very high end I think it's like a Reddit or something like that, where their whole thing is about writing stories, and they're very nitpicky and everything, and they see nothing wrong with the stories. So that's what
Hmm.
I'm saying. Like, if nitpicky people can't even spot the problems, it's gonna be hard for even us to spot them. So it may not even be a problem. It may actually have better dialogue than what they could write. Who knows?
Well, probably will.
Um,
Well, they
yeah,
write terrible
probably. I
dialogue.
mean, from what we could tell, it probably will write better stuff than what they can. So I mean, heck, if it does, then great. And if it helps cut down on certain things, then that's what AI is going to be doing.
Yeah.
So
Maybe if they
I
can
mean,
make a game,
especially with like animated stuff. I don't know if you've been watching a certain channel called Quarter Digital, where they posted a video about them straight up making an anime out of just like filming people do stuff, because they used like I don't know what it was called, but it's like, like, have you seen that whole big thing on Facebook where people change their profile pictures to like a bunch of different designs and etc. Well, they
Mm.
basically took, so like basically what the whole process is it's like it blurs how I look, and then the AI perceives it to whatever design you want it to
Oh, like
be.
deepfake
Yeah,
videos.
deep fake stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's become such a big thing now that people like watch Quarter Digital's video on how they made this anime thing. It was called what was it called? Uh Rock Paper Shoot or whatever it was called, that they made the anime on. And dude, just look at it. It's it does still have problems, but it's damn impressive how AI has evolved within like what, a couple months now. So again, if AI does keep going the way it does, dude, honestly, I'm gonna see I bet you we're gonna be seeing AI a lot more in video games, especially with dialogue and that too.
Sorry, I was pouring myself a new drink.
No, you're fine.
I
You're
think
fine.
definitely it's something that can be used for like art assets and all that. Because like we're not as picky as other people, like the boat animation controversy and God of War and stupid shit like that. Like
Yeah.
art assets don't really necessarily need to be made individually piece by piece. That's something where I can see like, an AI generator generating a rock for a developer and taking that time away from them so they can focus on making more fleshed out stories and more fleshed out narratives and just making better games. So I can, taking away my criticisms of Ubisoft, I can definitely see stuff like that becoming commonplace in the industry and all that to help with development, because we've been talking for a couple years now how games are, in my opinion, just taking too long to make. It's just 5 years in between games, in my opinion. It's just too long. We used to never get that. I mean, people forget Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 came out 2 years apart. We got all three of those games in like 4.5 years. That's
Hmm.
how long it takes them to make one game now. So if we can get back to a point in time where a game takes 3 years to make because they're using some of this AI stuff and generation to help create the art assets and help to create some of the less important lines of dialogue. If that's a thing, I'm all for it. Go right ahead. If I get to play more of the games that I'm excited to and more of the games that I want to play, and like I said, not have to wait half a decade or more, if you're talking about Rockstar, to play their next
Oh
game.
my god, yeah. Dude,
People forget.
Rockstar, I think Rockstar has the most insane development and just about other than maybe Last of Us, I guess too. But dude, like, yeah, it's wild how long it takes to make a new Rockstar game.
I mean,
Which
they're
I bet
detailed.
you, I think this year is the time usually that they would be announcing their new game.
We'll
So I
probably
wonder if
see.
they are going to announce it. I hope they announce GTA 6 this year, dude. I'm very excited for that game.
All the rumors are we have it in our hands late 2024, early 2025, which sounds like a
Yeah.
long way away, but it's really not when you think about it.
Yeah.
So maybe they come out later this year and say something. Probably not this summer. Probably, Game Awards type thing. We just
Mhm.
talked about how studios don't really want to announce their stuff too much too early. But we've seen so many leaks and rumors, and there was even that whole like Reddit thread where they had a whole bunch of like assets and pre-alpha footage and all that. So you would have to think they're fairly far into development. At least I would hope they're fairly far into development of that game. But yeah, when that game comes out, it'll be at this point over a decade now. It'll be a decade at the end of this year since GTA 5 came out, and it took them 6 years. No, well, I
Yeah,
guess
and then
it only took
it
them
was
five
like
years to make Red Dead.
yeah, it's like 5 years. So it seems like there was like a 5-year timeline in between. So it would make sense that this year that they would probably announce it at least.
Yeah,
At
I
least
mean,
do that normal like GTA 5 where they did that little, snippet trailer where they showed a little bit of stuff in the game, but not like a full story thing where they're going to show the characters and stuff.
yeah, this is
That's
definitely
probably what they're going to do.
this is definitely the most protracted development time for GTA 6.
Hmm.
When you think GTA 5, 2013, Red Dead 2, 2018, we're already at the 5 year mark at the end of this year if GTA 6 doesn't come out, which I don't foresee it. I don't know, maybe they surprise all of us, announce it during E3 time, and then release it in November. That'd be wild.
Dude,
That would also make
this would be the best year of gaming if they could do that, dude.
that
There's too much coming out, and to have that too, it's over. This
that
is the
would
year.
that would also make everybody run for the hills if they announce GTA 6 this fall.
Yeah.
That makes Starfield and Spider-Man
Yeah,
both
dude,
peace
it would
out.
be. Yeah, they're like, nope,
Well,
delayed. That's what they're
I don't know.
doing.
I mean, Spider-Man 1 came out the same month as Red Dead 2. So maybe Sony's like, we don't
True.
fucking care. Come at us.
I mean, Spider-Man is very, very popular, so it could
Yeah.
still do well.
All right. Number 7 on Around the Point. I have to edit the timestamps again because we keep talking for too long. I don't know if you have heard anything about Techland's new game. You do know who
Yeah,
Techland is.
yeah, I know. They're the one who
Okay.
make Dying Light,
Yeah.
so
So
it makes sense that they would make something like this.
yeah,
So
last year we got word they were working on a new narrative-driven fantasy RPG, which sounds perfect for me. Tickles my ball sack, if you know what I'm saying. But they
yeah.
have come out and gave us a little bit of an update. Not really one, but they gave us a screenshot of not even a screenshot, and I guess a painting per se. But they did have a little bit of a tweet saying we never stop improving. Again, this is coming directly from Techland's Twitter. Our newest game is set to be a narrative-driven fantasy epic with an exotic open world ready to be explored. We strive to create a compelling story-focused AAA game title that combines and refines the best aspects of gameplay that Techland is known for. So that's the only update we got. I went on Reddit, got a little bit of reactions from some of the people out there and the fans of Techland. They seem to be very excited about this. You know, if you don't know, Techland's the people who originally made Dead Island and then went on to make Dying Light 1 and 2. I still want to play Dying Light 2 with you. Don't know when we're ever going to get a chance to do that, but
I think that'd be fun.
I have it, I think.
You do. You do.
Yeah, I do. I have Dying Light 2. I don't know where it is. It's up there somewhere. You can't see my game. You guys can't see my game case, but I have a whole thing of games back there. It's up there somewhere. But yeah, no. I know, you know, Colin Moriarty, a guy from Sacred Symbols podcast, one that I listen to almost every single week. He loves Techland games, so he's probably pretty excited about this. I'm not gonna lie, I say I like Techland, but the only game I played from is Dead Island, and I didn't really like Dead Island, so maybe I'm just blowing smoke up everyone's ass.
Wait, you never even played Dying Light 1?
No.
Oh my god. Fake fan.
I watched my friend play it. I watched Eric play it. Does that count?
That's fair. Dying Light 1, dude, was awesome. Like, really, really fun. Story was not great. It was very cheesy and everything, but it was serviceable, but it was fun. The game was super fun. They definitely revolutionized, like, first-person parkour. That game is just insane still to this day with the amount of parkour that you can do in it. It's awesome. The verticality, just so much is going on in that game. And that game, also, Techland is awesome about giving so much support to their single player games. Like, I don't think I've seen almost any single player game do as much support as they do. Like, they go on for years. I mean, literally, Dying Light 1 had support for 4 years of them constantly adding new stuff, new this, updating that, adding custom map things to it. Like, so much support for the game, and it's awesome. And then you can even tell that with Dying Light 2, you could still tell that they're still giving support to that game still to this day. They're still adding new stuff. They're adding this and that, doing a bunch of things. So, Dying Light 1, and I like Dead Island. I especially like Dying Light. I like them both for their own different things. Like, they're kind of the same, but I feel like Dying Light is a little bit more different. It's a little bit about more like parkour and everything. And the systems are a bit different with the fact that at night you're hunted, but in the day you can roam around. It's cool because
is there a bridge you jump off of in Dying Light? It's like a main bridge. Like,
yes.
Okay, maybe I have.
Yeah, you can climb up like super high.
Maybe I have played it because for some reason I remember that bridge. I don't know why.
Yeah,
maybe I've seen it. Maybe I played it. Maybe I'm not a fake fan.
It's good too. I love that game, dude. I'm telling you. But yeah, I want to play Dying Light 2. I just haven't gotten it. I've been kind of also waiting for deep sale so I can get like just the big Ultimate Edition and just play that. I do want to play it like really bad. I just keep pushing it off because I want to wait till it's on sale, like deep sale.
Now that we have video up, we should stream a co-op playthrough of Halo.
Yes. Which one? Halo Infinite?
Well, yeah, it's the only one that I haven't played.
That's true.
That's a lie. I haven't.
Well, you didn't play Halo 5 either.
I did not play Halo 5.
You don't need to.
I was gonna say
you don't need to.
The only reason why I didn't play it is because everyone came out and be like, "Oh, you have to know every single little nuance about the Halo lore."
I'm a huge Halo fan, and I don't even know half the shit that's going on in Halo 5.
Yeah,
and it's so frustrating because I even watched the movies. I read some of the books. I played every Halo game. So I know all that, but I guess you have to like read this book. Then you have to go to Halo 4 and you have to play all of this, the Sparnops mode, because that Sparnops mode had an entire story too that connected to Halo 5. It was dumb. I know we're getting way off topic, guys, but still, like, it was just like, it was dumb. And so, but yeah, I'm down for that. That'd be cool to play Halo Infinite co-op. Yeah. I do want to play it really bad. I think it'd be really fun playing it in co-op.
Well, which one should we do first, Dying Light or Halo?
Probably Halo would be more reasonable because I technically do have it, and then you could have it too with Game Pass.
And you gotta support Microsoft.
God. But Dying Light 2, I do want to play at some point.
We're definitely doing Redfall though, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
I broke something. I don't know what I broke, but I broke something.
No, God.
Oh god, it's all going bad here.
No,
All
we're
right.
falling apart.
All right, number 8 on Around the Point. This is a story that Logan probably got fairly excited about. I also got fairly excited about it. It has been announced that Netflix is partnering with Gears of War developer The Coalition to bring a film and TV project to the streaming service. That we already knew, but the update is they have found their writer, and that writer is the same screenwriter from the Dune movies, which I can only say is awesome. Mr. John, how do you say that? Spatias. Let's go with that. The writer of Dune and Doctor Strange, the first one, is now set to write the script for the Gears of War movie. And that's all the new information we got. But overall on Gears of War Twitter, they said it's a hell of an honor to team up with at John Spatias, a talented writer and fellow Gears fan, to adapt an authentic live-action Gears of War film with Netflix, as reported by Variety and pretty much everybody else. So, Mr. Birdman, I'm the one who showed you Dune. You like Dune?
Mhm.
I love Dune. I can't wait
I
for the
wish
second
it
one.
was. I wish it didn't end the way it did, but yeah, I did like it. Yeah,
Well, that's why we're getting the second one this year.
I know, and I'm excited to watch it.
I
That's
technically
gonna
not
be
the second
pretty
one.
cool.
Technically part two. It's one story.
Yeah,
But yeah, we both love Doctor Strange, the first one. Not so much the second one, but he didn't write the second one, so that's good. At
yes,
least
yeah.
I don't think he wrote the second one. I have to double check that. But
I'm pretty sure it was a different person.
well, that
I
makes sense.
assume.
That makes sense. But all right, what do you think, man? I know we're both very excited. We both love Gears of War. It's probably my favorite Microsoft property, Xbox property. Not probably, it
Not even
is.
Halo.
Gears of War, I think, is better than Halo. Not the original three, but
I'm very
currently.
in the middle because I like both of them almost as equally.
Okay, let's go with
Honestly, they're
modern.
so good.
Halo Infinite,
Okay.
Gears of War 5. Which one's
Oh, okay.
better?
Gears 5 is better
Thank
for
you.
sure. For sure. I would
So,
definitely.
a modern fan, I'm much more into Gears. You know, the original trilogy, I think Halo beats it out in terms of storytelling and probably gameplay, but also, how do you beat Halo 1, 2, and 3? So, I don't think
That's
anything
true.
does. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Dude,
what do you think?
I hope. I've been hearing about this news for a while with Netflix making Gears of War stuff, and I'm very excited. But Netflix right now has been in a very weird area right now. They like to do some things I'm not very happy with. Especially, well, there's a certain also thing that they announced like forever ago that I wonder when it's ever going to come out. But there's an Avatar: The Last Airbender live action that was supposed to be coming out. They even have the whole cast list up and everything. And
You know that's
where
going
is
to
it?
suck, though, so why are you excited? You know that's
Well,
going to
because
suck.
the people that they have casted for it is actually great. And that's the thing. Like, I want it to be good, and I want to have faith in them on making something good. I mean, especially with how many years they've been working on this. I mean, this Avatar got announced like 2018 probably, and it's still not out. So I hope it is going to come out, but that's the same thing with this. Like, I'm kind of scared if it's going to fall into that same boat. I mean, we at least have we know it's a good writer behind it, and I really hope they have Dave Bautista in this because, dude, he is the biggest Gears of War fan. I mean, he literally advocates all the time trying to be in a Gears of War movie. He loves it so much, and if he's not in it, it's over. He needs to be in this because, dude, that man respects Gears of War, and he's basically the Henry Cavill of Gears of War. We need Dave Bautista to be in this, dude. He loves it. He wants to be a part of it. I mean, he did it so much that he actually is in Gears 5 now, where you can literally change out Marcus for Dave Bautista, and it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So, yes, please have Dave Bautista in this. I see that down below they're talking about how he's been campaigning for years for that, and I've been following that for years. And there was also supposed to be a movie a long time ago that was Gears of War that got canceled. So please, Netflix, let this be. Let it come to existence because I want it to so badly. Gears of War as a movie sounds awesome, and yeah, I'm very excited for it. It's got to be gory too. It better be damn gory this movie. So yeah, I'm excited.
I'm trying to look up some information on Lavatar. Lavatar?
Avatar: The Last Labor.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Apparently it got an updated release timeline, but I don't feel like disabling my ad blocker, and Screen Rant doesn't like that, so I can't see
Yeah.
what's going on. But all right, yeah, overall, I'm super excited about Gears of War. Yes, Dave Bautista has to play in this. I don't think this it very much reminds me of Henry Cavill with The Witcher. Now we all know how that ended sourly, which is
Yeah,
annoying, but annoying to
and that's
say the
not it.
least. But let's hope they
And
give
that's
him a
not
little.
it.
What's that? What's that?
That's not it too. Another popular show, the Wednesday show that came out. The actress is very into the role of being Wednesday, and they almost tried to ruin her character too. And if it wasn't for the actress, that show would have been god awful because they were trying to make. So, do you know anything about the Addams Family?
Well, yeah, I know the original. Nah, I haven't watched Wednesday yet, but
Okay. Well, they tried to make
but up.
Wednesday. They so
Sorry, I had to do it.
what yes. But so they were trying to make Wednesday gush about a dress when as a character as Wednesday Adams, that's not who she is. Like they tried to make her be this really girly, excited person for really dumb things that literally Wednesday Adams would not be into. And if it wasn't for, Jenna Ortega stepping in and being like, yo, that's not how Wednesday is. That's not Wednesday Adams. That show probably would have sucked. And dude, this is with Netflix, and it's a big meme right now. It's just the fact that Netflix gets these great actors and actresses that are very into the roles, and then they just dismay them. But then they hire these shitty ass directors to basically make these shows that don't even care about what they're making about, especially Witcher, which makes me so mad still because that show had beyond potential, beyond like it had so much.
Well, it had more
And
than potential. It nailed
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah,
It
first
had.
season was great. Second season was pretty good, but now they're going to be kicking out Henry Cavill, and I don't care about season 4. I'm going to watch season 3, and who knows how that's going to be. But season 4 is just going to be awful. I'm not excited for it at all because you're kicking out the only person that probably kept that show together. So, yeah.
Yeah, apparently Netflix is trying to like cover themselves by saying, oh, Mr. Cavill, he was kind of like an ass
Yeah,
on.
no.
He was an ass on the set, and he like was correcting everybody all the time. And my take on that is, well, maybe do things right. Like, yes, you don't
Yeah.
want your lead actor to be a problem on the set. I understand from that perspective. But maybe Netflix, you should be like, well, you're not making a proper adaptation. Say whatever you want about The Last of Us. At least it was a proper adaptation, directed from the story and from people who cared and wanted to bring the story to the screen properly. Like we may not have loved it here, but it was an adaptation at least.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I feel sorry for Mr. Cavill. And then the second top, he got booted from Spider-Man. That's not right. Superman.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to our last little news story. We don't have a lot to talk about to this one because I didn't actually watch the whole show. I was busy playing Resident Evil.
I
That's
didn't
not.
even know what happened.
Yeah. Well,
So,
the Future Game Show was shown this week. Like I said, we didn't watch it, so we don't have like a full breakdown and review of it. But I did want to go through some of the things that were announced here and just see if anything tickles your fancy. Witchfire, we've uh, we've already seen Witchfire, haven't we? It says a first trailer here, but we've definitely already seen Witchfire.
I think so.
All right, then Sifu's Arena expansion is coming out on March 28th to coincide with its release on Xbox Series X and S consoles. Miyamasa, there we go. Chronicles got a new trailer, a tactical RPG from the creators of Mutant Year Zero, which apparently people like. Uh, Ravenbound, an open world roguelike. Arc Runner. Hyena is the first one that actually interests me. This is something we've talked about on here, right? That Hyenas game
Yes,
from
we
Bit
have.
Assembly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a new look at a new character called Hiroki in that one, a former cosplayer who wields the element of disguise. The Entropy Center, a first person, pretty much like open concept level designer type game. Wrestle Story, along with Golf Story and other things, a turn based action RPG from TikTok Games, which I thought was funny. Not that TikTok. After Us, a game that I know DJ is excited about. At least it's on his list. So Synced, and then the first big one, The Expanse, a Telltale series, finally got confirmed to be releasing this summer, 2023. Episode 1 will come out for us. It appears they're sticking with the whole episodic, which I don't love, but I am excited about the Telltale series, The Expanse. I love that TV series. It's still something I think you desperately need to watch, but you don't have Amazon, so shit all luck on that one.
Yeah.
Distant Bloom, The Last Case of Benedict Fox, a game we've seen a couple times coming from exclusively on Xbox and PC, comes out on April 27th. A game I was very much interested in, and it seems like one of those side-scrolling, very hyper stylistic games in the same vein as like Ori and the Blind Forest, something Xbox seems to be fairly good at. Don't know what that game is. Park Beyond, up my alley.
I
Park
was
Simulator.
I thought you would just say something other than that.
Up my
But no, yeah,
ass.
that
That game
yeah,
is
my
that game is
ass.
up my ass. Let me tell you.
No, that game actually does look pretty cool. It seems very Thrillville. That's what it seems like to me. Very much more like more than the other game.
What, the game that I
What's it
play?
called? Yeah, what's it called?
Planet Coaster.
Planet Coaster. See, Planet Coaster seems more like simulated compared to this. This seems more like Thrillville esque, which is a little bit more not so realistic. So does look kind of cool. Especially from the way that like dude's talking to you, it seems very much like a Thrillville kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
That's something we saw last year at some point in time. I don't remember what show it was.
yeah.
There's a couple other things here. Fort Solis, confirmed to be a PS5 and PC exclusive. That seems okay. It's got some good talent behind it with Roger Clark, the voice of Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2, and Troy Baker, obviously of Uncharted and Last of Us fame. Some VR stuff. Don't know if you got a chance to look at any of these. Lo-Fi, Hello Neighbor VR, not for broadcast VR, coming to PS VR 1 and 2 and MetaQuest on April 13th. And yeah, there's just a bunch of new updates on games that I don't know if you care about any of these. So, what do you got? I've been talking forever. I've been reading shit forever.
No, you're fine. Yeah, there's actually surprisingly a lot of stuff in here that actually looks pretty cool. I need to actually watch the trailers on them. Um, there's a lot of like what the heck is this combat champions? Especially the description for it. Formerly known as Project Slingshot, C-77's Combat Champions was revealed to the world as the future game show Spring Showcase. It's a shooter set in a world without lawyers, where corporations settle their business on the battlefield. Like, doesn't that sound pretty interesting? Like, what?
It does sound
Okay.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
like
sounds very unique.
that's like wacky, but also pretty interesting. I mean, the same thing for the finals game. They didn't show it on here, I'm sure, but that game looks super freaking good. Like, I'm actually really excited for that game. There's a bunch of games at the top here. Let's see. Let me get back to where they were.
Overall, it seemed sorry.
The Ravenbound looked pretty. Go on.
I was just saying it seemed like a good showcase. I just didn't watch it. So
Yeah, I need to watch the showcase because there's actually a lot more that actually kind of piqued my interest, at least from just the pictures I'm seeing. Like Ravenbound seems kind of cool. It's very unique. It's an open world roguelite. Like that's interesting. I'm kind of curious about that. Also this Miasma Chronicles, just the picture in general looks pretty
Miyamasha.
sick style. Miyamasha, is that really what it is? Are you sure it's Miyamasha? Because I don't see it's Miasma Chronicles. I don't see Miyamasha.
Hold on. Oh yeah, it is Miyamasa.
Okay, well,
Miasma. I don't
at least
fucking
from the
know.
photo, style wise, looks pretty cool. And also Witchfire looks pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of Dark Watch from the PS2.
Oh god,
Very
Dark Watch was so
cool.
cool, dude. Dark Watch was so cool, dude.
Yes. But yeah, no, a lot of this stuff, there's actually a lot more I thought than I would be interested. I thought there was gonna be a lot of okay games, but there's some stuff in here that actually looks really cool. There's a lot going on in this one.
Are you gonna
I
play
would
The
say those are
Expanse?
probably I'm sure I will.
That's
I'm
Telltale.
excited for it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know as much as probably you, so I'd have to actually watch the show, but I don't have Amazon, so it's kind of impossible. Well, I guess I kind of do. I have my brother's login. I never logged in because I still need to watch The Boys season 3. Sometime I'm gonna watch it. I want to watch it. It's just I haven't had any Amazon login info. So yeah, anything pique your interest other than what was the game? I don't remember what the game was that you told me
Well,
about.
I like The Expanse, and then Fort Solis is kind of like that science fiction horror type thing that I'm usually into, but I definitely soured on that with uh Callisto Protocol not being really anything to write home about.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then
yeah,
obviously Park Beyond. I love park builders and sim builders like that. And it's pretty much the reason why I built this computer that I have sitting to my right. And then, like I said, the last case of Benjamin's Fox. That's very much a Mike game, a very hyper stylistic side scroller action type game. So it's coming exclusively to Xbox. We've been seeing it for a couple years now. I know it's a game that people are excited about if you like that style of game. So, which I do. So I'll be looking forward
which
to
one was
that.
that?
It's called The Last Case of Benedict Fox.
Oh, okay,
Hyper stylistic. Very
okay.
very Ori in the Blind Forest with the colors popping and everything like that. It looks really cool. And then Wrestle Story, a tactical action. That wasn't right, any of it, honestly. Turn-based action RPG. Said very much in that story of like golf story and things like that, taking a sports event and making it like a turn-based RPG. I know Golf Story was really cool. A lot of people liked it, so that was really the only things that hugely tickled my fancy. But like Logan said, there was a lot of good stuff in here. Nothing massive. This is all just like third-party stuff that a lot of people are gonna play. I know people are excited about Sifu's Arena expansion, kind of a horde type expansion for Sifu the game. And I know you very much enjoyed it. I like Sifu. I just suck at it. I can't play the game.
Yeah,
Um, you were
I still need
definitely
to play it
much better than I
more.
was.
Yeah,
So
I still am surprised I lasted as long as I did. Still very impressed with myself.
I was very impressed. What are you
Um,
talking about?
yeah, you need to play Two Point Campus still. By the way,
I do.
dude, I'm telling you, you're gonna love that game. It's so much fun.
Why didn't I play that
It's
when it came out? There was something else I was playing. Do you
yeah, there
remember?
was something else, but dude, I don't remember what it was. I think it was like a I think it was that
No.
other Final Fantasy. I thought I'm
No.
getting a phone call.
Other than that, Dredge, game that I picked up on Fantasy, scored really good. Actually, my second highest scoring game of the year so far. And I know people are really enjoying that out there. But other than that, I don't have anything else here. I know a lot of people thought this was a fairly good show. Like, again, I go to Reddit for a lot of my impressions on things that I don't know a lot about. So it seemed like most of the people over there were fairly happy with it. Obviously, everyone's going to complain. It's the internet. But we did get a new Dying Light 2 information. So there's new upcoming story-driven DLC launching on April 20th. So I guess we'll have that to play when we eventually sit down to play Dying Light. So, all right, anything else you got, sir?
No,
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Around the Point. Not a huge week, not anything massive news. Maybe Counter-Strike 2 probably being the biggest news. But we always like to throw some things in here, have a good conversation about them, and then let you guys respond the way you want to respond. By the way, always respond to us. Let us know down below what you thought about any of these stories. If we missed anything, please let us know what you guys want to talk about. We will engage with you in the comments on our Patreon, wherever you want to talk to us, wherever you want to engage. Let us know down below. We're going to go now to Let's Talk Reviews, also known as LTR. This is where we dive into some of the games reviewing. That wasn't right. Some of the games that got reviewed this week, go in a deep dive and talked about how we responded to some of the reviews. Weird incidents. I've actually played both of these games that got reviewed this week, so
yeah, that's gonna be an interesting point of view.
yeah. Big time call.
I'm gonna mute this.
That's okay.
My bad.
No, I don't care. The first game up, Resident Evil 4, has a 92 on OpenCritic, a 93 on Metacritic. Big time, good scores. Like we added last week, I wanted to add the positive mixed negative breakdown, so help people out a little bit to let people know how good, in fact, it is scoring. And Resident Evil 4, like we all know, 104 positive reviews, 2 mixed reviews, and 0 negative reviews. There was a proverbial shit ton of 10s. I actually had to scroll a while to get to a 9.5. But the best one that I read, Push Square gave the game a 10 out of 10 and said, nearly 20 years later, Resident Evil 4 is just as much of a masterpiece today as it was in 2005. Capcom has faithfully remade a genuine classic by bringing it into the modern age and ending it out with new content, tremendous combat, and striking visuals. What was there before was already enough to consider Resident Evil 4 one of the best games of all time, but now it earns that title in 2023 off the back of better environments and sublime action. This is Resident Evil at its absolute pinnacle, an utterly outstanding experience that will live long in the hearts of longtime fans while inducting a whole new generation of supporters. Mr. Birdman over there. Noisy Pixel gave the game a 9 out of 10 and says Resident Evil 4 remains a divisive entry in the series as it caters to fans of survival horror and action within a well-crafted gaming experience. That's a weird opening sentence. The updated narrative by far makes this a solid entry as it fills in plot holes and provides character growth that wasn't present before. The atmosphere and level design only enhance the enjoyment, but the popcorn action structure of the final area hurts the overall pacing. Still, this is undeniably a stellar remake of an already fantastic game. Then Destructoid on the low end, the second to lowest score. One reason I didn't put the lowest score because it was from someplace that I never heard of before. Destructoid gave the game a 7.5 out of 10 and said, back in 2005, I liked Resident Evil 4, but I didn't love it. The remake hasn't changed that. Unlike the Resident Evil 2 remake, which was revolutionary, Resident Evil 4's glow up is more of a faithful recreation rather than an overhaul. It changes just enough that if you love the original, I can't guarantee this will leave you unperturbed. Meanwhile, if you didn't like its first iteration, it's not impossible that this will change your mind. The best I can say is that it's an earnest effort at recapturing the magic, and it's worth checking out. It remains, as it always was, maddeningly inconsistent. I disagree with that last one entirely, but whatever.
Yeah.
Mr. Birdman, what do you got?
I don't even know if there's much more to say other than it's fantastic that it's scoring very well. I do think it is worth it. I mean, Destructoid just didn't like it, but it's still that's a reasonable score for not liking it. Even more impressive is the fact that there's only 2 mixed reviews out of 100 and if you're going to count all of them total 106 reviews. That's pretty dang wild. 106 reviews and 104 positive and 2 mixed. That's wild. That's awesome too.
Yeah,
I'm really happy for him.
It's moved into 105 positive with 2 mixed, so a couple more people have reviewed. Well, one more person has reviewed.
Yeah, one more. Yeah.
I can't count.
But I'm really happy for them. Obviously, not everybody's gonna love this game. It's definitely different, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm happy to see it scoring well. I mean, I'm happy that I'm enjoying it. So, because I've always wanted to play the game, just never did. So.
I find it a weird decision to take someone who didn't like the first Resident Evil 4 and say, hey, you review the remake.
Yeah.
You're kind of setting up your score for failure there. He doesn't like the original game. So why would he like the remake?
And see, that brings up the point about a lot of people when they say that, like, when a reviewer reviews it really high, they always say that's because they're a fanboy. But if you pick people that don't like that genre of game, they're not going to like it no matter what. You can't do anything to change their mind. It's like saying, like, oh, hey, this guy likes Animal Crossing. We're going to make him play Elden Ring. Well, what is he going to review it?
Yeah.
What is he going to review it? Probably not great because he's not having a great time. So you gotta pick people that obviously like that genre and let them review the game.
Or that understand that genre.
And they're gonna understand it. They're gonna be more nitpicky. They're gonna understand the ins and outs and what makes a good version of that genre of game. And so if you pick someone that isn't gonna like it, this is a good example. But still, respectably, at least he didn't be like, 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
At least he gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
At least he's not Jimquisition out here.
Yeah, which I bet you were gonna have him show up at some point.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Because he talked shit about Dead Space too.
He did. Oh yeah, he's gonna hate this.
Yeah,
game,
you remember it was his review that lowered Dead Space.
Not him, it's her, right? No, it's her.
Is it?
I think. I think gym
Oh
position is a
God,
hurdle.
I just got canceled.
Sorry. Yeah, I know. We just got canceled. It's over.
I
We're
don't
gone,
know.
guys. We're out.
Well, Jimquisition, I'm just gonna say his name. He ruined my perfect score for Dead Space and took it below a 90, which was annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll probably say the same thing. Oh, it's the same game, even though it's not even close to the same game, in my opinion. The first five
Yeah.
hours, it's clearly not the same game. All right.
Which I'll be playing that game too at some point whenever it goes probably deep sale. I'll probably play Dead Space at some point.
Or I could just give it to you.
That's true.
I
That's
do,
true.
I do own it. Advantage
That's fair.
of advantage of buying things physical. Can't do that with digital.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair.
I would love to give you Sifu so you could play it, but I can't.
That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool if they do at some point. If discs do go away, there's a way you could do a borrowing system. That'd be pretty interesting down the line.
I don't see that
Who knows?
happening. That
Yeah, I don't know if they, who
that
knows.
that takes away money. I don't see that happening at all. All right,
True. True.
Tchia Tchia didn't give itself
Chia.
anything.
Chia.
It's a cool name.
Yeah.
Tchia scored a 78 on OpenCritic and a 78 on Metacritic with 16 positive, 9 mixed, and 0 negative. Game Informer gave the game an 8.5 out of 10 and said, Tchia drips with joyful, explorative fun. The idea of letting players loose in an interactive sandbox is a goal that has been chased by developers since video games began. Few truly give you the freedom to frolic in a virtual playground, and though Tchia is not without its shortcomings, it's a rare instance where the temptation to just play in the digital world is rewarding at just about every turn. The tone, the music, and Tchia's abilities all come together to create something that is simply fun, and it all takes place in a setting that demands to be explored. Level Up gave the game a 7.5 out of 10 and said Tchia has a lot of heart and charm. It's clear that the developers really wanted to honor the culture, traditions, landscapes, and music of New Caledonia. Unfortunately, the exploration is repetitive after a few hours. The soul jumping mechanic never reaches its true potential, and the combat is bland. That's unfortunate, as the game tries with love and honesty to be a memorable experience. PlayStation Lifestyle gave the game a 6 out of 10, and the low end said, during the course of Tchia's tropical adventure, players will experience many great, carefully implemented ideas. The open world, influenced by New Caledonia, remains sensitive to its cultural inspirations. The unique soul jumping mechanic is a joy to use and explore. The boat controls and fully functional ukulele are overkill in the best kind of way, and the story has both unexpected darkness and humor. Unfortunately, a handful of good ideas can't save Tchia from running out of steam before the finale and crumbling beneath a wave of performance issues. I haven't experienced a single performance issue in this game. I don't know what he's talking about. But I think overall the critical reception is kind of in line with my opinions. I'd probably sit at an 8. I think it's a good game, if not a great game for what it is. It's perfect for the type of game that it tried to be. I don't think it reached for any sort of lofty goals. It wanted to create a world that was true to its creators' lives and the cultural traditions of the world, the place that they're trying to represent. And I think the story is surprisingly dark in a way that clashes in a good way with its like visual identity. Like there's this one scene where you have to go get a chicken and this chick just straight up cuts the chicken's heads off and the game doesn't cut away from it. The game just shows you the bone and the blood's coming out and everything, but it's in this like hyper cartoonish style and I was like, "Oh shit." So, I think it's really, really good in that way. Like I think the game is surprising. Yes, I'll agree. The open world isn't incredible, It definitely is, you just kind of you go to a viewpoint, unlock things, and you just go around and collect things. It's definitely not a game you can sink 8 hours in and just be absorbed fully. Like I said, I spend a couple hours, 1 to 2, and then I bounce off and I go watch some TV or do something else. But I think for just a chill experience, an enjoyable thing that you can just spend some time in and learn a little bit about a culture and a tradition that I haven't ever heard of or dealt with before. I think it's very good to great with that. So I think the score is right on. Obviously, I think PlayStation Lifestyle is a little low for my taste, considering he had nothing but good things to say about every sort of mechanic, and he only said the performance issues, which I haven't run into. So don't know what's going on with that guy, but what do you got, man? Is this a game you're gonna check out? It's free if you want to check it out. Wait, you have
Well,
extra,
you
right?
had to have no. I'm not paying for
Oh,
extra. I'm
oh,
good.
damn.
I have Game Pass, which does basically mostly the same games in my opinion and I own a lot of the games, so that's the reason why I'm not getting extra. But this game didn't really look like it was for me at all. Even the first time I saw it, it just looked like a very, I don't even know what to describe it as. It just looks very, to say the least, it looked kind of boring to me. That's kind of how it looked. Doesn't look like a lot's going on. It looks like just a lot of puzzling and just that. It's a puzzle game from what I could tell. With an open world with some very reminiscent mechanics like with Breath of the Wild, where you can fly on a leaf and everything. Yeah, just didn't look like it was for me. Nothing wrong with it. Sure, there's something good to find out in this. I mean, you like it, so I just know it wasn't for me. It didn't look like a game I would play.
That is completely fair. I don't know. You like open world games, but you don't really like the collective thought in open world games. It takes
Yeah,
you know,
I like action
yeah.
and quests. Like if you give me a side quest in an open world game, I enjoy that more. Like, hey, here's a bunch of little orb things. If you collect all of them, you get something from it. Like I kind of check out at that point.
I
In
mean,
most games, some games it does kind of grab me, and it's like, yeah, I'll stick around. I'll go collect these things like Hogwarts and all that. Like I wanted to go collect things. I thought it was really fun collecting them and everything. But it really just, I don't really know what it is to make it click in my brain that I would enjoy that. It really takes something. But I also like action. That's the thing with like Lego Star Wars we had a problem with. Like when you get to the open world, yes, there's stuff to collect with, which is great. It's fun. But you update these combat mechanics for a reason. So where's the combat? And then when all you're doing is just collecting around the world, I get bored extremely quickly. I like to actually do stuff. Collecting things and doing little puzzles isn't really fun to me. It's more like action or story. Action and story is what drives me into the open worlds. So when all I'm doing is just collecting things, it just gets boring to me very quickly.
Well, the story is really good, and there is combat. There's not a lot of it. I think it's fine. If there was a shit ton of it, or a lot of it, I don't think the combat would hold up. But the limited points that you do combat, I think, is interesting. By the way, my reaction was I got a new bid for my collection edition, $405 right now.
Damn.
It's up
Sad
to.
that you did that.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you want you
I'm
usually don't want collector's editions. You never want
I
to
thought
spend the
that
money
game. I
for
thought
them.
that looked cool, but it was too late. So,
Oh,
and
well, that's
if I
my
would have
bad.
known, I would have. It's okay. You're making money. I don't blame you. I would totally do the same thing probably, unless you wanted it, and that was ahead of the game. But that
Yeah.
was it.
Oh, I totally would have given it to you, but I didn't know you wanted it. I'm not going to pull it back now because I'm making money off of
No,
it. But
don't. I wouldn't do that either.
so, all right, the rest of the games this week. Have a Nice Death came out, got an 81. Storyteller 75, and at
Atelier Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End and the Secret Key.
yeah, there we go. We'll go with that 83. So,
Yeah.
good game apparently. Now I did look up a little bit of Have a Nice Death. I'm pretty sure it's a roguelike, so but people seem to like that. All right. Anything else?
Nope. I
All
don't think
right.
so.
Out this week, on March 28th, you get a chance to play Colossal Cave on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. MLB The Show 23 comes out on PS4, 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch. Sifu sees its release on Xbox Series X and S. Terra Nil on PC, iOS, and Android. The Last of Us Part 1 finally sees its release on PC. Then on March 30th, Dredge comes out on PS5, 4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. The Last Worker on PS5, PSVR 2, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. That's a lot of things. And then March 31st, Citizen Sleeper comes out on PS5 and 4, and Cosmonius High comes out on Meta Quest. That's it. That's all we got. Not a whole lot. I know. I mean, I guess the MLB show is huge, but nothing I'm going to jump into. And then I'll be interested to see how The Last of Us performs. Because like you said, Uncharted on PC apparently had some problems. So we'll see if they were able to get that fixed here.
It was mainly the shader compilation issues at the very beginning.
That's what every PC game has.
I know, right? So probably they're gonna have the same thing. I am very curious though to see this game at like PC and everything, to see all it very maxed out. But I'm not gonna lie, from what I've seen on this PC, what was it? PC things that are only on PC, and all it was basically ultra wide. Nothing else really new. They didn't add like ray tracing or stuff like that. It's just You basically just crank up the shadows higher and you can make it ultra wide. But still, I am curious to see like how it's going to run, if there's any problems with it. Hopefully, there's no shader compilation issues, but who knows? So at least it's not as bad as the little Big Planet thing where they literally made it only like if you have like a Nvidia card, you're stuck to having it on what was it? I think it was like frame generation or something like that, and it was like really breaking the game. So like if you put it at 30 FPS and you put frame generation on, it would look god awful, and for some reason it would be stuck on that, and you couldn't change the setting. So I'm sure it's not going to be that bad,
Sounds like a
but
great decision.
I know, right? So yeah,
All right, well,
that's all I got to say.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for you this week. If you have anything to say about anything we talked about, any of the games coming out that you're excited about, any of the reviews we talked about, what is your reaction to Resident Evil 4? Did you check out Tchia on PlayStation Plus? What do you think about it? Do you think it's boring or not? Let us know, as always, down below. Anything you have to say, anything you want to talk about with us, let us know. We will engage with you to the best of our abilities. This brings us, though, to the end of our show. Everyone who's either been watching or listening, we just want to take this time, as always, to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Without your support, we could not be doing what we're attempting to do. But please help us to continue to grow by telling everyone out there who even has the slightest appreciation for all things pop culture that they have some new friends waiting to talk all sorts of fandoms with them. We would greatly appreciate it. Mr. Birdman, any last words?
As always, everybody, thank you for stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed our first episode of having us on camera. Um, so this is pretty exciting, and we've been building up for this moment for over a year. I would mainly want to say it's kind of my fault. I should have gotten a webcam at some point, but I pushed it off a little bit. But hey, here we are, finally on, as you would say, full HD. We're all here. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys have any
1440p.
Yeah, 1440p.
Yeah.
Look at that. We're
Yeah.
above that HD line there. But yeah, if you guys have any comments or any suggestions on maybe things we can work on, just hit us up down below on our comments. Hit us down below in the comment section. Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate you guys stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Experience Point. I do want to shout out our Patreon and Platinum member, Logan Leffler. We do appreciate your support each and every month. And if you want to support us by, subscribing, giving us a solid like on the video, we do appreciate it. It does help us. Again, we're trying to hit that 200 subscriber mark. I know that's a long way from where we are now, but it's still a goal that we're going to try to meet at some point. Other than that, I'm going to bring it over to Mike so we can end this because it's going to be a little bit awkward. Then I can't just say goodbye. See you guys on the next one. I'm still here. So what about you, Mike?
Once again, thanks everyone for listening and following along with us. This has been another episode of the XP Podcast brought to you by all of us here at the Experience Point. I hope everyone has a great week. And as always, we'll talk to you all in the next one. See ya.
See ya.